Hey everybody. Sorry, I was almost late because I was in Irene's chat. Hi Annie. I popped in to say hi to Leo Eat and Irene. Irene's Irene's live right now, and afternoon tea with Irene. And I went to say hi, and I got distracted because they were talking about dogs. You know how I am about my Simmy, so yeah, I distracted myself, and I was like, looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be live right now. I made it. I got here before it hit 2:01. So after the disaster on Saturday of not being able to get on because of the computer, well, being late and then being late for my late show, I didn't want to be late for this one. So I'm here. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Don't you hate having to leave a conversation you're having fun in? Yeah, I was like, no, well, I gotta go live. So, because I miss talking to my people. I love my people. My little Kodi tribe. Well, I had 3 people here. Apparently someone just wanted to see if I was going to make it on time, and then they left. Bye then. So my landlord is supposed to show it today around 3. I'm like, crap, I have a show at 2. I'm like, well, I will probably leave the chat on its own. He never stays long, although he is inspecting the house. But he doesn't usually stay too long, so I'll probably leave the chat to behave themselves while I go deal with him, and then I'll come back. Because it could be a little before 3, it could be, 4:30. When my landlord says I'll be there around a certain time, you never know. I mean, hell, he told me he was going to be here yesterday, and at 4:30, I finally texted him and said, so since it's 4:30, I take it you're not coming today? And he texted me back half an hour later and said, yeah, I'm not going to make it today. Thanks for that. I stayed awake because I don't hear the text indicator, the little bloop on my phone if I'm sleeping. Hell, half the time I don't hear it ringing when I'm sleeping. So, because I'm usually so exhausted in order to fall asleep that no, the dogs barking hardly wake me up. Although Simmy will, because I'm not used to her barking. Sure you will, Annie, but it's okay because it's my chat. As long as nobody seriously attacks anybody else, I'm fine. I don't want any animosity. But I mean, if somebody comes in that's not moderated and they start being an asshole, like if we get a troll, feel free to step on their head because we don't tolerate that kind of crap. But if there's an issue between 2 moderated people, that can usually be worked out. Either somebody leaves or you talk it out, because people that are moderated on my channel are people that I know and I trust to be mature. Yeah, we all have immature moments. I have them, not that anybody could ever tell, but I do. And even I can work things out with people that I'm not getting along with if it's something that's minor or that you haven't tried working out yet. I mean, you give it a shot at first. Always try and work things out first. Let the other person know that what they said offended you, or you took it a certain way, or their behavior was uncalled for, whatever. At least make the attempt to approach it. If they don't see it, don't care, whatever, then there's a problem. Hey, my Wendy. So, even I can do that. Yeah, that's I'm not really sure who the hell that person that I just got the message about. I'm not really sure exactly who that person is, but I do note that their name is very vulgar. I saw it, it popped up on my notification. And I called them out on what their name meant, because what the word mecos means, or mecos, it's Spanish, and it means it's a very vulgar form of cum. So basically, Ulysses eats cum is not really a screen name that promotes friendly behavior. And I called them out on that. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I got targeted by it. I don't care. I am going to still put the link in the chat, which I always forget to do, and I'm not going to forget today, just in case. As y'all know, I hate doing this shit solo. Yeah, you're an angel, all right, Wendy. Hell's Angel, maybe. Yeah, there was another name that was mocking my name too, which is interesting. I saw it. I didn't acknowledge it, but I saw it. Even that halo is tarnished. Look at how blue it is. Look at that. You need to polish that shit up, Wendy. Slacking. You're slacking. And let me tell you, if I was lazy, man, I wouldn't be hurting so bad from cleaning my house. So I can be lazy. Like if I just don't feel like doing something, I admit it. I don't feel like doing it. But I have to judge everything I do on how much pain it's going to cause me to either do it or how much pain I'm going to feel after I do it. I'm already in constant pain as it is because of my back. Now I've got tendonitis in both arms. I already had it in my right arm, and it's been acting up real bad lately. And I'm getting it in my left, and it's probably from using the wheelchair so much. So I'm dealing with that. So really, I mean, it's kind of like if the only chair that you had in your house to sit in had like sharp spikes on it, how often would you really volunteer to sit in that chair? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like if it has to be done, I'll get it done. But stuff that isn't extremely, a priority, it's not getting done. I past couple of days, I have I just got fed up with the house. Plus the landlord, being upset about the dogs. I've mopped all my floors. I got as much of the bathroom cleaned up as I could after my flood. I can't get in the right up against the corner where the wall meets the floor or the tub meets the floor. I can't get that. There's just no way because you have to be able to scrape it or be on your hands and knees. And hello, yeah, that's not happening. Although I do have somebody that said that they would pay to have a professional cleaning crew come in and pretty much douche out the house like a deep clean, so that because I took out in the past 2 days, I took out 5 bags of trash. 3 of those were stuff from the dogs because I had to put the pee pads down and those take up a lot of room. 2 of them was just trash that my son left laying around the house, and 1 whole bag from the bathroom because of all the garbage he left in there. And I mean, literally food wrappers and soda cans and empty bottles of shampoo. And I'm like, what in the fuck? I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, and then all this like dead toilet paper that was stuck to the floor and all that from the flood, from the toilet overflowing. That was so gross. Although I do have a salted caramel scented candle that I lit, and both the bathroom and the craft room smelled really good after that. So, yay. It is not easy to sweep and mop when you're in a wheelchair. Let me tell you, I did get the Swiffer pads and the liquid for it, and that was a lot easier to use on the rest of the floors in the house, but that bathroom had to be done with the mop, and I was not happy. I was not happy at all. My whole system crashed when I finished the bathroom and, mopping the floors and everything. That was Sunday that I did that. I got back in my room, and I think I fell asleep around 3:00. I didn't wake up until 8:30, and I never sleep that long, so that's my system just shut down. I was like, "Poop, I'm out." So yeah, I was so hurt. The next day I had to finish doing more stuff that I hadn't gotten to that day because I just couldn't do it. My muscles gave out. I couldn't do it anymore. Afternoon, Judy May. I just talked to Judy over and Irene. Hey, Steven. So yeah, I mean, I'm getting done what I can get done, and once the cleaners come in and get things done, which unfortunately I do have to give up one of the dogs because I cannot, being in the wheelchair and the dog's not getting along. If they got along, I'd be fine because when I get the solution to being able to put the dogs out, which is in the works right now, I'd just be able to open the door and let them out, but the dogs don't get along. So I have to go back and forth to confine one and let the other one out and then let that one back in. And it's too much in the wheelchair. It's just too much on my arms. So, not to mention getting up and out of the wheelchair multiple times with a bad knee. It's, a fall hazard, and I really don't want to fall down because that would suck. So, unfortunately, I had to get rid of the larger dog, which was John's baby, and I really don't want to. We've had her for 11 years. But Simi is my emotional support animal. She's smaller. She won't try and kill other dogs if she gets loose. Miha doesn't like little dogs, like little chihuahuas, and the neighbors had I think it was a Jack Russell Terrier mix. It was tiny, but it was smaller than a Jack Russell, but it was shaped like a Jack Russell. I only saw it from a distance. And Miha went after that thing because it kept shitting in our yard. So Miha broke the tie out. She can break a 200-pound test tie out. So it just, So, and the landlord's freaking out about having both dogs in the house, and just he's being unrealistic about when we rented here 6 years ago, because I calculated it was around 6 years ago. He knew we had 3 dogs. He knew that they lived inside, that we put them outside. They were house trained. And now he's saying that he never agreed to have dogs in the house, which is a lie. And, all this. So I have somebody that's helping me. We're working on doing, coming up with some kind of benefit or fundraiser, because I finally, even though I hate asking for help, and I try not to ask for help, although, yeah, Stephen, the landlord's making a huge fuss. He threatened to evict me if the dogs have ruined the floors from going to the bathroom in the house, even though I have pee pads down. And the floors were already damaged. These floors started coming out like a week after we moved in, and we told him about it. So the flood in the bathroom didn't help any, So the only solution that I could come up with for the dog, for the one that I'm able to keep, is to get like a kennel, an outdoor kennel, like the big panels, and have it so that the back door is completely enclosed, because my back door is open both sides. They're just cement steps that go straight down, which is what I'll fall on if I'm hooking a dog up to a tie out and they lunge out the door. I'm going down the stairs. So it's kind of scary thought. So the solution is to get like a kennel, place it around so that there's enough room for the dog to go to the bathroom out in the yard, but it completely comes up to the side of the house, like leave one panel off, have it come up to the side of the house so that I can just open the door and the dog can go outside. And then she can come back inside. There's no hooking her up to a tie out. She won't get attacked by other dogs, because she has been attacked 3 times by dogs that just wander around the neighborhood. And she won't get the tie out wrapped around the post that's out there, which has also happened, because I can't get down those stairs to untangle her to let her back in the house. So my anxiety levels about letting her outside are sky high too, because I can't go outside and break up a dog fight either. My dog will end up dead. We're coming up with ideas. I'll be talking to that person a little later today, to figure out how to raise the money for that, because I found the kennel, and then I'm going to use what are called trampoline stakes. They're to secure your trampoline into the ground so that it won't blow away. Or if your kid's bouncing on it or you're bouncing on it and you hit one side of it too hard, you don't flip. They're like a rebar, and they're like U-shaped, like tent stakes, only a little more secure. And secure the bottom of it, since there will be one panel missing. It won't be completely, secure. And put those down. My neighbors have already told me that they'll assemble it for me. I just have to let them know when it gets here. So, hey, Larry. So we're working on that. So hopefully within the next week or 2, I will have that set up, and I should be able to start using my prosthetic hopefully by the end of this week. Hopefully by Saturday or Sunday. And that'll make it easier too. I'll be a little more steady putting the dog out. Still can't do steps because of my knees, but I can, we'll have less of a fall factor opening the back door. So working on the solutions, hopefully the landlord would accept it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do a much bigger fundraiser because I'm going to have to replace the floors or he's going to kick me out. I don't know what he's going to say today. I'm not looking forward to this conversation with him. But I am trying to come up with solutions. He's, I don't know, he's high all the time, so it's hard to tell what kind of mood he's in. He used to just smoke weed, and that was fine. He was a really mellow landlord. He was so kicked back, but he would fix things if, like, the AC broke. He'd have somebody out there right then. No, Larry, I have no idea. I don't know where any of that paperwork is, and I've moved twice since then, so I just don't know where any of the paperwork is, and I can't get to anything in my room. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do have a witness because Issa, and but I there's no place else around that I would be able to rent that's the same rent as mine or less. They're all more expensive. I can barely afford to rent here, and that's with my son's help. So, and I have no way to go look for a place. I have no ride. Hey, Bobby. So hopefully, I mean, I've told him that I've got cleaners that will come in as soon as Miha's gone. I'm still waiting to hear back from the damn animal shelter, who guilted me into and didn't give me the appointment I asked for. When I emailed them, like, I haven't thought of every single solution possible to try and, hold on to Miha or find her a good home because she is older, and I'm well aware that older dogs don't do well in shelters. I got nothing. I tried everything because I came to the conclusion 2 weeks ago I was going to have to give up Miha. I just cannot take care of two dogs. And so the animal shelter guilted me was kind of bullshit, but I'm still waiting to hear back. They're only open today and Friday this week. So my landlord's going to be like, well, we need to know. And I'm like, well, you go call them and ask them then, because you call their number and then you get an automated response. You don't talk to a person. And then they just tell you to email them. So good luck to you, because I've done everything I can. Matter of fact, I emailed them again today and said, I really do need that appointment, please. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope the landlord isn't on anything wacky kind of medicated and just his usual mellow weed self, because he's been popping Adderall and doing harder drugs, I guess. So no, Bobby, they can't. You have to do it by appointment only now. And my mom said that too. She goes, just ask the neighbor to just take her down there on because they do intakes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But they're closed this week. I don't, because it's me and they have to close for the whole week. So she's like, just have the neighbor take her down there and say, here, I'm dropping off this dog. Well, what if they refuse the dog and he's got to bring her back? How confusing is that going to be for her? Yeah, landlord's supposed to be here around 3. So I may leave all of you to your own devices while I deal with him, and then I'll come back. I don't want to shut down the live and then restart it again. That's a pain in the ass. So just leave you all in here chit-chatting with each other. And, he never really stays long. He does want to inspect the house, which I already figured he would. I'm surprised he hasn't already been here. This is kind of weird. He's, that one day he harassed me so hard, when the toilet overflowed, and then complaining about the dogs and his floors and this, yet he hasn't shown up. He was supposed to come yesterday and he didn't show up. I had to text him at 4:30 and be like, since it's 4:30, I take it you're not coming today? I stayed awake because I can't hear Andy, leave the sound up so you can hear it. Yeah, you won't be able to because I have to keep my bedroom door closed because of the cats and the dog. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to make it today. I'm like, well, gee, thanks for letting me know. So this morning I texted him and I was like, so do you have any idea what time you're going to be here? Because my mom came this morning. She's looking a lot better and she's feeling better, although she brought groceries. And I tried to keep the grocery list. She called me last night and asked for the list, and it was minimal because she's still tiring out really easily, recovering from COVID. And she came in with so much stuff. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? She just decided to pick up other random stuff. So she got me an Edwards frozen chocolate cream pie. I was like, oh, pie. I was so excited. And she got me 2 things of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I'm like, Mommy, I love you. She's so sweet. And she picked up the dog food that my son never came back to get money for. And I tried to give her the money for the dog food. She wouldn't take it. So she's, no, you keep that. Okay. But I just have so much food in my house. I'm so not used to having a lot of food in my house. I don't even know what to eat first. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Annie, she was the same way. She did a trial run to Walmart for her house yesterday to see if she'd be able to do grocery shopping today. And she said, luckily, she had the shopping cart. The hardest part was getting from the parking lot, which she did find a spot up front, was getting from the parking lot into the store to get the shopping cart so that she could use that as kind of a walker. And I tried to get her when she came here. I do have a rollator, one of the walkers with the 4 wheels that I use to transport heavy stuff around from the wheelchair. I push it in front of me or pull it behind me or whatever. And she wouldn't take it out there. I think she was embarrassed. She didn't want to use it because I was like, look, just throw the dog food on top of it and on the seat part of it and tie the bags. We're going to throw the bags away anyway because they always have holes in them. I was like, just tie the bags around the walker and push it. And that way, 1, you have walking support, and 2, you're not lifting anything. She wouldn't do it. My mother's so stubborn. But yeah, she got me plenty of food. And she got me Pepsi. I asked her for 2 Pepsis and 2 bottles of orange Fanta because the Fanta is cheaper than Pepsi. Pepsi's getting very expensive. She bought me 3 bottles of each. I have soda again. Yay! I know it's bad for me. I don't care. So yeah. So I am glad she's feeling better, and she's hoping she's like, well, hopefully I'll get over next week to help some more. And I'm like, well, you bought me enough food that I have like 3 weeks worth of food. She goes, this is gonna last you 3 weeks. I'm like, Mom, I eat once a day. She goes, well, then eat more than once a day. I'm like, oh. I unless someone shows up, I only get out in the rest of my house like twice a day because it hurts to get in the wheelchair because of my knee. So I go out in the morning, I clean up after the dogs, and then I come back in here, and then I go out later in the afternoon and feed Miha, clean up if I need to, if she's made a mess, and clean up after Simi if she's made a mess, and then I make something to eat, and I come back in my room. That's it. That's my day. That's what I do. So exciting. But my mom wants to start getting my craft stuff in the living room instead of in what was going to be the craft room, because she doesn't want all the boxes and totes that are behind me in my room that looks like a storage unit. She doesn't want my living room to look like a storage unit. She says it's unsightly, which it is. So she wants all that stuff in the smaller room. So that'll be like my store room, I guess. And then all my craft stuff will be in the living room, which is nice because it gives me more room. And my aunt, who ended up with a bunch of a friend of the family's stuff when he died, has a 6-foot folding table that she wanted to know if I could use for my crafts and stuff. And I was like, absolutely. My mother's like, where are you going to put that? I was like, in the living room. I was like, I got a space for it. I just have to get that damn dresser out of there, and I have space. I have spot for it, and that'll give me more surface area to work with. Because I'm going to end up using my son's desk if he doesn't take it out of here. That way I won't have to move my desk from what's technically right now the craft room into the living room, because that thing is awkward. It's very awkward to move. And there's no way me and my mother can do it or get that giant TV off it, the space TV. So we should be able to get my craft table itself, my kitchen table, out of there because the legs come off it. So all we got to do is take the legs off it and then stand it on its side and just slide it, and then carry the legs out, which is what I used the walker for last time to get the legs for that table out of my room. I put them on the seat of the walker and just wheeled it into the room. So I can't carry those things, wheel a damn thing with one hand. It hurts a lot to move that wheelchair only using one hand. Yeah. So my neighbor was sweet and took all the bags of trash that I had out there down to the trash can. So at least my landlord won't see my porch piled up with garbage bags and think that that's how I'm living, because it's not. It's just, I had asked him the first day, Monday, Sunday or Monday. Yeah, Sunday. I asked him, I don't know, one of those days. My days are blending so bad. I asked him if one of the guys could come over and grab the trash and take it down to the trash can. And I went out in the morning, it was still there. And I was like, shit, landlord's going to see that. So then I ended up adding, 2 more bags to it anyway. And I messaged him again, and he ended up coming over and taking it down. And he took my trash can out to the curb. So that's already all set. So my neighbors are so sweet. They really are. Even though, it's the one guy gives me a lecture anytime I ask him to get me cigarettes, which I'm going to end up quitting because I just can't afford them. I don't. Yeah, I can't afford cigarettes I have vape juice. It's my vape thing is dead though. The tank cartridge thing burnt out. So it doesn't heat up anymore. And I don't have the money to get new ones. And they have, in the kind that I have, it's like a little tiny pen vape. There's 2 different sizes and they're only like 2 millimeters in difference. But when you have like a screw-in tank, the 2 millimeters makes a big difference. And it doesn't tell me anywhere on the box or anything what size this is. So I would have to buy one of each and figure out which one fit. Like, that's crazy. But yeah. So life and times with Kodi. Yay! Annie, I hope you keep improving. I really do. My mom is like, I was sick for 16 days and I've never been that sick. And I'm sitting there going, Mom, I know people that have been sick for 3 months or longer. Be glad that you had such a quick recovery. Because see, my oldest daughter and my grandson both had it. They all live in the same house. My granddaughter never got it. But my daughter recovered in like a week. And my grandson, he just had symptoms like a cold and he was fine in a few days. My mom, of course, is 89 and it hit her hard. So she was very frustrated. I mean, she was almost in tears because my mom cannot sit still. She has to always she's like the exact opposite of me. I can sit still all day long. I have no problem with that. But my mom, she was a workaholic when she was working. She always had to be busy. And for her to know that there are things that she wants to get done and to not be able to do them, she was in tears going, I have to do laundry. I have to get the dishes done. The kids aren't eating right. The kids didn't eat right anyway. They would like pick at their dinner. They wouldn't eat even a third of what she gave them, and then they'd hit the junk food hard. And it was allowed. So, you live with the monsters you create. Yeah. So I'm not telling her that, Annie, because she'll get upset. I just told her, I said, look, I said, don't overdo it. I said, you're going to be feeling today what you've done today, you're going to be feeling tomorrow. I want you to take it easy tomorrow. She was like, okay, I have to sit down for a few minutes. She was sitting down for 30 seconds and she started to get up. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I'm going to get going. I'm like, no, sit there for a couple more minutes. And she's like, well, I should get home. I'm like, Mom, your house isn't going anywhere. It's not going to pack up its bags and leave without you. I'm like, relax. It's okay. She did say the house looked a lot better. So, and coming from my mother, who, when I was a child, couldn't even put, a glass with my drink on it on the table, on a coaster, of course, and leave the room for 30 seconds without her taking it and putting it in the sink because, well, you left it there. I was in the bathroom, Mom. Hey, Papa, you are partially here. Which part of you is here? So for my mom to say that it was a big improvement made me feel good, that all of my pain and effort did some good, at least. Because the landlord was like, well, the last time I was in that house a few weeks back, like last month or something, he goes, it was pretty messy. Yeah, that was my son. because he was living in the living room, and he had, he wasn't cleaning anything. He wasn't picking anything up. So there's trash on the floor in the kitchen. His clothes were all over the place, and he didn't pick anything up. He didn't pick up after himself, which was a little irritating. But I'm dealing with the blame for that when I didn't even go out there. My son's attitude, and just he was so resentful about being here, and his attitude was so negative towards me, not towards anybody else, just me, that I didn't go out there. So, my son brought me like one meal a day, and that's what I ate. And he let my dog in and out. Hey, Darlene. So none of that mess was mine, and yet I'm getting blamed for it. And I'm like, well, fuck. I did have one spot on the floor that I couldn't get clean, and I thought it was from the dogs at first, but it is not. It's right in front of the deep fryer thing that my son has. It's like a double basket deep fryer. So what is on my floor is oil drips from him using the fryer when he made French fries or whatever, just chicken. He never cleaned it up, and it's all stuck to the floor, and the mop won't pick it up. So I'm hoping that the deep cleaner people have some kind of degreaser that they can get that off the floor. And hopefully my landlord doesn't see it, because he'll be pissed. I'm pissed. I'm like, it doesn't take much to put, paper towels or something down on the floor to catch that shit. But, yeah. And I have a bunch of furniture that has to be taken out of my house, which will be easier to do. Like I could ask the neighbors to help me with that once Miha's not in the house, having them in and out, and the dog possibly getting out the door is not a good plan. So, because I've got a dresser, I've got a recliner, the dresser and the recliner, my son hasn't taken out, and then this metal rack thing that used to be glass shelves, which my son and his friends broke my glass. So the shelf frame is useless. I'm not getting glass cut for it. I don't have the money for that kind of thing. That needs to be taken out of the bathroom where my son put it. And then I'll have more space in my house. Space is good, especially when you're in a wheelchair. So, I mean, there are plans in place, and like I mentioned, we're gonna be trying to do a fundraiser to get the money for the kennel. It's gonna cost around, I estimated about $500, because the kennel is $240. Then it's $40 shipping because it's not covered on Amazon Prime. The trampoline stakes are $20. They're a bent rebar, which I figured was, a pretty good sturdy stake to put in the ground to keep the kennel from falling over or whatever. And then I want to be able to give the neighbors a little something for helping me out, because they do so much for me, and they don't even take gas money. I mean, they run to the store for me all the time. They don't ask me for anything. And my neighbor mows my lawn for free, so I want to be able to give them a little something for helping set the kennel up. So it's altogether like $320 or so for, well, yeah, about $320 for the kennel and all that, plus the shipping and tax. Of course, there's tax on it and stuff like that. So I guesstimated about $450, $500. So it's not as big a fundraiser as other people have needed, and hopefully, I really hate asking for help, but this is so that I don't lose my place to live. They are very good neighbors, Darlene. They really are. I can't lose my place to live. I can't. So hopefully I don't have to do a fundraiser for the floors. But right now my priority for that is the kennel. So I can put Simi out and not have to worry about her or me. Mental health and physical health are in danger, both hers and mine, with putting her out right now. So, yeah, and I will let everybody know the details of all of that when I have details. Right now, the person that I talk to is very good at fundraising and organizing benefits and things. So, once I talk to them and have some details, I'll let you guys all know. And even if you can't help financially do what I do, because I can never help financially, but I share it. You know what I mean? And maybe there's people out there that can. I know that so many people are in so much trouble because of that damn hurricane. I was like, the name Ida is really close to Isa, and they're both a pain in my ass. But anything, any kind of sharing, or sharing links or whatever when we have one and all that would greatly help. I have no way to go look for a place to live if I have to move, and I have no way to afford one. And I have no way to get there, or me there, or my stuff, or my animal. I mean, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the place that I live. So, sitting out on the side of the road in a wheelchair with a dog on a leash and only one cat in a carrier, because I only have one cat carrier, is not something that I'm looking forward to. Plus, I lose everything. Not exactly a happy perspective of my future. And once I have the cleaners come in, I'll be able to maintain it. Of course, I pay my rent, Annie. I pay my rent on time every month for 6 years. I personally have never been late. Our rent here has been late a couple of times, and it's been short a couple of times, but I made sure Issa let him know that was her and not me. I had my money on time. Yeah. My personal history with this landlord for paying rent is perfect. Remember, he's the one that's late coming to get it. I told him on the what did I tell him on the 3rd that my son, because I have to let him know before the 5th if the rent's going to be late. I told him on the 3rd that my son was picking the rent up on the 4th, but I didn't know what time. So he did come in, because my son has to take my card and go to Walmart and get my money off my card, and he did do that. And I let the landlord know that night that I had the rent, and yeah, he wasn't coming Monday because it was a holiday. I guess he was partying, whatever, busy. And he was supposed to come yesterday, and he never showed up. And then he said he'd be here today, and so I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, around 3." So it could be any time. I don't know. But yeah, I have my rent receipts. So even though he spells my name wrong, and he uses my nickname. He doesn't use my legal name, but that's fine. When we spelled it wrong. And so the last rent receipt I got was just Kodi. That's all that was on it. Darlene, he's worried that his floors are getting ruined because I'm not able to put the dogs out and they're going on pee pads. No, it's not rude. It's not rude at all. He said if I'm causing damage to the house, he might have to work on eviction notice. I'm like, the floors were already damaged. I mean, they were brand new floors when we moved in. And I remember him telling us that. And they did look really good when we moved in. And within a week of us living here, the linoleum, the laminate on the floors started lifting up. And John actually tripped on a corner of one in the kitchen and almost went headfirst into the back door. So I told the landlord, yeah, I hope not too. I told the landlord that the flooring was coming up. And he didn't do anything about it. Well, it's coming up in the whole house, and even places the dogs don't go. Like it was starting to come up in the bathroom before the flood. Now, of course, it's definitely starting to pull up, but the dogs didn't cause the damage. I mean, we also had Talon in the house who would spill things, and his mother would spill things, and neither one of them would clean up their mess for hours. And juice is fun on the floor when it's been sitting there for an hour. So. It's just normal wear and tear. Yeah, it's a very old house. Like I said, they put new flooring in, but they use cheap flooring. He's going to say it wasn't cheap flooring, but it's cheap flooring. I mean, you should be able to. We put laminate. We put the same kind of tongue and groove flooring because it's like the flooring that has like the slide on one side and like it's like male female fits together, and you lay it on the floor. And we put that in our mobile home. And we had 5 dogs in the house, and they had accidents and everything else. And not many, but they had accidents. So they'd come in, they'd be all muddy or wet or whatever. The floor would get wet. We'd mop it. We mopped it with a regular mop. And our floor never pulled up. And we had it in that house for 5 years. We weren't even in this house with the new flooring for a week. and the edges started lifting up. So either they didn't put it in right, or that this flooring is really cheap. And there's white spots everywhere. Any high traffic area or anywhere that you put your feet constantly, like where I used to stand at the counter to cut vegetables, there's white spots where my feet used to go. The coloring is coming off the floor. Dogs didn't do that. It's just crappy flooring. So if he decides that, you know, it's my fault that the floors are damaged, then the only way that I would be able to stay here is to try and do a fundraiser and start having the floors replaced, room by room, because obviously I need to be able to get around, and that's going to be kind of pricey, really pricey. But hopefully I won't have to do that. Yeah, this is an old mill house. I mean, how originally it didn't even have a bathroom or a kitchen in it. It was just a box. It's all the rooms connect. And hold on one second. All right, he's going to be here in about 10 minutes. All the rooms connect. They had a communal kitchen that, like, for every 3 houses, they had a communal kitchen and an outhouse. Because this is an old mill town. So, yep, very old house. So I am going to have to leave you all. I gotta try and get transferred into the wheelchair and all that fun happy crap. I gotta try and reach my shoe. It seems so weird still to just say shoe instead of I gotta grab my shoes. You don't think about that, you know what I mean? Yeah, Darlene, me too. Thank you. I got left high and dry. I mean, without any help except from my mom, and my mom has been sick for, well, as she reminded me, 16 days. It's difficult. I mean, the neighbors help me out with as much as they can, but, I'm not going to ask my neighbors to help me clean and all that. So they are helping as much as, more than expected. Just, it is what it is, and so thank you, Annie. Thank you, Wendy. All right. So feel free to stay in the chat. I will probably be back no more than 30 minutes. I'm going to leave this live going. If you're all gone, then I understand. And but I will be back. And I love you guys. And thank you for being so supportive. I know my life is like one big soap opera, and I hate it. But I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. I am going to take the StreamYard link out because I won't be able to let anybody in while I'm not here. There we go. I'll put it back in when I come back, just in case, in case anybody wants to pop in and keep me company when I come back. There we go. I'm sticking like glue, yeah. Wendy's nosy. She wants to know what happens. All right, y'all. I love you guys. I'll be back. Don't have too much fun without me. I'm back, bitches. I told you it wouldn't take that long. He didn't even come in the house. Seriously. I love having a lazy landlord. Unbelievable. All that stress, all those anxiety attacks, him harassing the crap out of me, being rude, and he didn't even come in. For real. Thank you. I even asked him, I said, are you going to come in? Because he's writing out the receipt on the porch. I'm like, are you coming in? And he goes, you get cleaned, the dog's cleaned up after? I'm like, yeah, it's been clean. I was like, I was cleaning it when the plumber was here. I just hadn't gotten to it yet that day. And I told him, I said, you remember that we told you the flooring was coming up like a week after we moved in here. John almost went into the back door head first. He goes, yeah, I remember. He goes, it's just that cheap suck down stuff. I'm like, seriously, he's bitching about the floors and he knows it's cheap and he even admitted it. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, oh, okay. He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll be buying a couple of weeks to pull up a sample of it, like after Mihan's not here anymore. He's like, I'll come by and pull up a sample of it so I can go get more of it and we'll lay it down. I'm like, okay. Yeah, really, Bobby. I'm like, oh my God. But the house still has to be cleaned. If he comes in and the gunge that's been there for the year that my son didn't clean, it'll be bad. I know I do. So yeah, telling me I should double flush instead of flooding his toilet, come on. Shit happens literally. And when because the water wouldn't shut off, that's why it flooded. And that's what the plumber even told me, that is because the water wasn't shutting off. It overflowed the toilet. Because I was plunging it. I was trying. So yeah, he didn't even come in to see the damage that was done to the bathroom. And that floor was damaged by that flood. Because there was 2 inches of water sitting on that floor. And it is pulling up a bit. But given it's just the cheap stick-on stuff, it's not very surprising now, is it? I did tell him about the fundraiser for the kennel we're going to be doing. Yeah, I definitely don't want to push it. I can't move. It's not a matter of don't want to. I cannot. There is no way for me to move. I don't have people here that would be able to move me, and I don't even have a way to go look for places. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to. Well, he had a girl in the truck, so I saw her arm when he was in the back seat looking for a air filter. Luckily, I found one while I was cleaning, so I didn't need a new air filter. But yeah, I saw her arm in the truck, and it was not his daughter. I've seen her, so he didn't want to take the time to come in. So, the boner wins. It works for me. I don't care. Boner brain. It worked for my advantage, so I'm good. It kills me that I busted my ass getting this place cleaned up to the point where I thought it would be okay for him. And it needed to be done anyway, but I could have taken my time and done it a little slower, not hurt myself so bad. And he didn't even come in and look at it. I almost was like, please come in and look at it, But yeah, it was just, and he didn't have exact change because I only had 20s. Because my son didn't grab the dog food when he pulled the money off my card. So he only had 20s. And I said, I need $15 back. And he had 14. I was like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. He goes, well, why don't you just keep the 20? He goes, I'll write the rent receipt for $520. And, you can give me the other 5 next month or whatever. I'm like, okay, if you're sure. He's like, yeah. Why he didn't want to owe me $1 instead have me owe him $5, I don't know. But I know he can't evict me on $5. So, So I got $20. Yay, go me. My life is so fucked up. Hey, TG. I don't know, but it's a huge relief. And everything that needs to be done still needs to be done. I still need to do the kennel because that's a safety issue for both me and the dog. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 years here, Papa. They accept applications for a couple of days in my county, and then they don't even accept the applications anymore because there's such a long waiting list, which is messed up because there are so many ads that say they accept Section 8, which is our government housing, and yet all these places are empty. Put these people that are on the waiting list in those places, and then, whatever. Me too, Wendy. Whew. What a rush. It was anticlimactic. He had boner brain, and it was anticlimactic for me. I don't know. But whatever. So I still need to do the kennel. The house still needs to be, now my mom did clean the living room and that craft room. So those rooms aren't that bad. It's the bathroom and the kitchen that are bad. And of course, my son moved into the living room after my mom cleaned it. So it's, get off my phone, Heifer. Damn cat. Time to party, yeah. So it's kind of grungy in the living room. Floor's clean, but it's grungy just because my son never cleaned up after himself. So, but the kitchen and the bathroom are the two main rooms that really need to be douched, I guess is a good term for it. Douche the house out. Whew. I got goosebumps. I got chills. They're multiplying. I can't sing. Definitely can't sing like John Travolta. That's for sure. It's electrifying. Yeah, it is a huge relief. Oh, I've been so stressed and had so many anxiety attacks over the past week. I cry like 5 times a day just because I don't know what I'll do, because he's threatened me with eviction. And I was just like, ugh. Now he's all like, oh, yeah, I'll just pull up a sample of the flooring and take it in. Well, you're going to have to pick a spot from a corner because every other spot will not have true color on it. It sounded like Larry. Yeah. Hey, Caroline. With his let's get physical. Let's get physical. I want to get physical. Yeah. Wendy, as far as I know, Tim went to the ENT specialist yesterday. I know he was in Irene's chat with Tina a little while ago. I popped in there to say hey, and I saw them in there. So as far as I know, he's okay. I don't have any, get off my leg. I don't have any details about how it went at the ENT because I figured they were wiped out from traveling and all that. And I know Tina's very tired. So, but as far as I know, everything's okay. I know he's still having issues, the same issues, but hopefully as that heals up inside his head, then, some of the symptoms he's been dealing with will lighten up or go away completely. That'd be nice. Oh, Wendy or Wes, get those clowns off my screen. What's wrong with you? Hate clowns. Clowns are annoying. I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't like them. They're annoying. Oh, damn. She went after Donna and Tina. Fuck me. Wow. TG. And hello, Wes. Sorry I was not here when you got here. I was dealing with my landlord. TG. TG does that just so I'll show her more love than everybody else. That's why she does that. Hey, Kristen. So, TG, here's your extra love. And Marty says, too. Wow, my camera's really bad today. Ugh. Yeah, she does. Wendy, one of what I just gave TG is for you too. From your angel. Yeah, I agree, Carol Ann. I don't even know what's going on between the three of them. I haven't really been following any of that. I have too much of my own drama going on. I haven't been able to pay attention to too much else. Too much other drama. My brain doesn't know what to do now because I was so anxious about the landlord coming in and like being pissed off about the house, even though my mom did say that the house looks a lot better, that, he didn't come in the house. So now I'm like, well, now what? Like, well, shit. Yeah, TG, that's an understatement. And hey, so I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Mine just got a fuck of a lot better, I'll tell you. Still stressing about the dog situation. Wendy, I have not had to time out someone in so long. Okay, Wes, I might. I don't know. I don't like giving her watch hours, but I might. Yeah, Wendy, I haven't had to time anybody up for a long time. Yeah, Wendy's never been an angel. She lies. Lies like a rug. So far, Caroline, yes. He didn't come in and inspect it like he said he was going to. I was all stressing out, even though I busted my ass making sure everything was clean and picked up and did the floors and picked up all the trash that my son left laying all over the place. You are not an angel, Wendy. Not all of the trash my son, but a significant amount of the mess that my son left, I got cleaned up. And yeah, TG, they don't know. Okay, they're delusional. I'm sorry, I love them both, but they're delusional, and you lie. You're very sweet, but you are not an angel. Bobby, I'm gonna end up timing out my whole chat again. I haven't had to do that since I started. Wow, almost a year ago, you guys. It'll be a year on January 22nd, which is my birthday. That was my very first live. A couple of days ago, it was very hard for me. September 6th was John's birthday. I had a really tough day that day. Poppy, you're delusional too. She's not an angel. What is wrong with you people? A little bit like reality in your life, man. Yeah, Caroline, he's saying that, because I reminded him that the flooring had been coming up right after we moved in, and he acknowledged that and said, well, it's just that cheap stick-on stuff. You're pissing me off. You're freaking me out over stick-on flooring. Really? I mean, I know it's not cheap significantly, but come on, So he said that once the big dog is gone, and he knows she won't be going to the bathroom, the dogs won't be going in the house anymore. He'll come in and take up a sample of it and get some replacement stuff to put down. I'm like, okay. I have worked out with somebody to do a fundraiser to raise the money to get a kennel to put out back around the back door, so that all I have to do is like around the steps. So it'll cover some space. It's a 10 by 10 by 6 kennel. And I'll be able to enclose the steps completely because my steps are wide open. There's no rails or anything. Wes. So my neighbors have said they'll assemble it for me. We just have to raise the money to get it done. So it's about 450 to $500 because I want to be able to give the neighbors something for helping me. Altogether, the kennel and the trampoline stakes comes to 320 plus tax. So I figure about $500 ought to cover the whole thing, and then I'll be able to let the dog out safely for both of us. And that will be a huge relief because she does not like going in the bathroom in the house, and I do not like her going to the bathroom in the house. She's not a Chihuahua or a Yorkie, you know what I mean? She's not a tiny dog. She's little, but she's not tiny. So working out details for a benefit or fundraiser or something for that is in the works. And my landlord didn't say I'd have to pay for the floor, so he might throw that in later. But all he said was that he'd pick up some more stick-on stuff to put down. Okay. Yeah. So. Jeez. Wes. I love you, Wes. Which we never ever thought that anyone would ever hear me say, but I do. You're awesome. Yeah, Papa, it's hard to wrap your brain around the way that mind works. It really is. It's like, what? Yeah. So, yeah, no mention of eviction. He did ask if I cleaned up after the dogs because apparently he thought that my house just stayed with dog shit all over the floor. And I'm like, no. But I hadn't gotten out to the room yet to get it cleaned up when the bathroom flooded. I was in the process of doing something else first. And then on my way through, I was going to do the, where the dog goes to the bathroom area. So, yeah, it was gross when the plumber showed up. And, because then there was the panic over the flood and me trying to get somebody to come shut it off, which my mom even said, if I hadn't moved so quickly and grabbed, gotten a hold of one of the neighbors to help come shut the water off, the whole house could have flooded. And then his floors really would have been ruined, So, waiting for what, Wes? You to show up? I have no idea. I haven't talked to Lenny or Jamie or any of them in a long time. Yeah, he is. But so yeah, so no mention of eviction. He did take the rent. He gave me a receipt, and so I'm good at least for another month. Because I asked him if he was going to come in. I was like, "Are you coming in?" And he was like, "Well, did you get the floors cleaned up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "I was cleaning it that day when the plumber showed up." He goes, "Oh." I'm like, "No, I'm going to live in a house full of dog shit." Yeah, that sounds like fun. Ew. He's like, "No, as long as," he goes, "because when I come to take a sample of the flooring, I don't want to be digging through dog shit." I'm like, "Well, that's understandable." And I reminded him that I'm the one that had Issa call when we had the hole in the bathtub because I was worried about the integrity of the floor underneath because all the water is going into the flooring. And he's like, "Yes, right." He goes, "I remember." I was like, "I really don't want damage to your house. I don't. I completely understand. I mean, I might not have ever owned a property that I rented, but I do understand the mentality that these people it's a business and they want to take care of their investment. And there are people that will just trash a house, like the roommates that I had. They had no respect for this house whatsoever, and they did damage to it. And I feel horrible about the damage that they did. And if at some point in time I can get that repaired, I will. But like the landlord knows the window's broken on the inside. It's only the inside pane of glass that's broken. They've known about that for 3 months and said, "Well, we can take the window and go get glass put in it, but we're going to have to charge you for it." And I was like, "I understand." I was like, "As long as you can break it up into small increments, then, I can pay it monthly. That's fine." And he's like, "Yeah, we can do that." And the window is still broken and it's still in the room. They still haven't taken it. And I'm like, okay, it's not bothering me any, because I mean, I have to take the rest of the broken glass out of it, but, it's not damaging the integrity of like my AC, which, damn, I forgot to turn that back on. I had the door open and I know how he is with the AC about having the door open when the AC is running. So I went and shut the AC off because I figured he was coming in the house and I forgot to turn that back on. It's only 77 here though, so it's all right. I'm fine. Yeah, Bobby, and he already kicked out the people down the street. I guess he did an eviction like 2 weekends ago to the people that live down at the corner of my street. My neighbor told me. that he served them with an eviction. He booted them. So he's already got an empty property that he's trying to rent out. So, you don't have your rental property income, you can't get your drugs. So, well, at least I'll be saving money for a little while today, right? I made $20 and I'm saving money. Well, I made 15. I still got to pay him back the other 5 next month. He's like, you can give it to me later. I'm like, later, dude. I get money once a month. This is it. Like, fuck you. I'm getting pizza. Wow, 4-bedroom for $5K. Damn. See, I mean, most of the places around here are either like 600 and up. I pay $525 because we've been paying rent here for. I've been here aside from the year that I lived at one of his other properties with my son. We've rented this place for 6 years. So yeah, $525, and honestly, it's not worth it more than that. I cannot afford $600. I only get $814 a month. How am I going to afford $600 a month for rent? I wouldn't be able to afford any of my utilities or food or anything else. You know what I mean? So I don't have enough to live on. I mean, hell, I don't have enough to live on now. My mommy brought me groceries today. She brought me ice cream. She got me extras, which was so sweet. And she got me ice cream and she got me Edward's chocolate cream pie. I'm like, thank you. So I have treats. She's like, you worked hard. The house looks good. You deserve treats. I'm like, you got me the treats before you saw the house. She goes, I had faith in you. I'm like, oh my God. So I gave her extra things to carry, though, which I was a little upset about because she is still recovering from COVID and it's slow going. Yeah, you're not getting the pie, Bobby. It's mine. It's mine, all mine. Well, you know what? You guys show up and you can have pie. I have to take it out of the freezer first, but yeah, she got me 2 different kinds of Haagen-Dazs, little pints of Haagen-Dazs. The first one is my favorite. It's a chocolate peanut butter. I love that ice cream. The other one is caramel waffle cone. And I'm thinking, Mom, like all my teeth are broken. How the hell am I supposed to eat something with waffle cone in it? So I might have to spit out the waffle cone parts, but I love caramel ice cream, so it still works. Yeah, it's a long drive for pie. Yeah, see, I mean, astronomical, Papa. It's crazy. I mean, granted, South Carolina, like my area has pretty low rents compared to the rest of the country. People kept asking me, hey, come back to Massachusetts. Yeah, I wouldn't even be able to afford a cardboard box under a bridge in Massachusetts. I'm like, are you kidding me? When I left Massachusetts, I was paying $575. So that was almost 22 years ago. Yeah. So there's no way I would be able to afford that. So no. And I can't handle the cold. So no. Pepsi. And there are nice places around here. Really nice places around here that are for rent, which are still significantly cheaper than, $2,600 a month. But still can't afford them. And I looked into like the not assisted living, but like the living accommodations for handicapped people. Yeah, it is expensive. Like amputees and people in wheelchairs and things like that. And yeah, the cheapest one, which is the worst one, has the worst reviews, is $1,500 a month, which is almost twice what I get a month. So yes, Kristen has 2 little kitties. They're so cute. She sent me a picture. They're so cute. So I mean, like I said, I have no way to go look at places, and I can't move into a place without seeing it because I need to know if I'll be able to get around it in the wheelchair and if I'll be able to access things. And I did find out I can reach my tub. I'm able to maneuver. I'm able to maneuver and manipulate the wheelchair to the point where I could reach the tub to fill the bucket, because I did dump the bucket and that hurt. It hurt a lot, because the bucket my son left in the bathroom was more than 3/4 of the way full, and it was very heavy for me with my tendonitis and my bad back. But I did it, and that I was able to get over to the tub and rinse it, and I was able to get water and all that and get the floor cleaned up as much as I could. I can't reach behind the toilet, and I can't reach the creases like in the between the wall and the floor, but I was able to get everything else. And it looks a lot better, and it doesn't stink now, so that's a huge bonus. Huge. Yeah, so my body is so tired. My brain is tired. My brain is worn out from all the stress I've been going through. And the animal shelter still hasn't emailed me back, and they're open today from noon to 5, and I still haven't heard from them. That's pissing me off. So that is the excitement of my life. Yay! I don't know what this ride is called, but I'd like to get off now. This is not the ticket I purchased. Know what I mean? I crashed at around 3 o'clock yesterday, I believe. I think it was around 3. No, 5. I crashed around 5 o'clock. I woke up at 7 because I had to go to the bathroom. And I couldn't stay awake. And I fell asleep, and I woke up at midnight. And then I tried going back to sleep at like 4, and I slept for like an hour, and I was up. So I've been up ever since. Oh, cool, Wendy. No, colorblind sucks. But I'm glad her eyes are getting better. I love my favorite little Brit. Have a good day, Darlene. Thanks for coming and playing. I hope you're able to come back. Yes, yes, yes. And now the awkward silence happens because Kodi ran out of things to talk about. Mm. Wendy's daughter is absolutely adorable. She is so sweet. She's my favorite little Brit. Aw, Annie. It must be nice to have children that still like you. My son told me he's not ignoring me, he's just living his life. I'm like, why are these two things exclusive? Oh, pastel colorblind, so she can't see light colors? That's weird. I've never heard of that before, but interesting. That's okay. She's a bright color kind of girl. Can she see like bright greens and bright reds? Because most people can't see that are colorblind can't see green or red. They both look brown. No, she can't. That sucks. TG. So it's a lovely day in the neighborhood. At least my day just got better. Hell of a lot better. Oh. I'm hopefully going to be able to use my prosthetic by Saturday or Sunday. I'm hoping, keeping our fingers crossed. And that'll make it easier too when I have to put the dogs out. Oh, cool, Wendy. They can do amazing stuff with glasses now. That's very cool. Yes, the Good News Show tonight with Victoria and Robin at 7 o'clock Eastern. We love Victoria and Robin. Kristen, stop going to Petco. And don't go to PetSmart either. Oh, and she also has story time with Argyle Sock and Renee is at 9 p.m. tonight. So there's two different shows on Robin's channel tonight. Story time is always fun. I love Argyle. Nope, sorry. Wendy's daughter is my favorite little Brit. I don't have a favorite Brit because I know too many people in the UK, so I can't say I have a favorite Brit. But Wendy's daughter is my favorite little Brit. I need to trim my nails. My claws are way too long. Okay, there's a link for Robin and Victoria's show. Tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. And let's grab the one for story time. My chat won't stay put. Stay still. Wait a minute. I put the wrong link in for Good News, I think. Yes, I did. Why did that not copy correctly? Okay. Hold on. I'm taking that link out because that was wrong. Now I have to double check the link I'm putting in. Hi, Irene. Let's see. This is not supposed to be complicated. But of course, it's me, so it's complicated. Yeah, Bobby, that's always helpful if you can revive it. All right. That is story time, and I will go back and get the other one. Because for some reason, the StreamYard link went in instead of the YouTube link for their show. And we can't have that happening, because that's just silly. You'd be clicking on something and end up in my back room. There, that's better. Okay, so 2 shows tonight on Robin's channel. Good News at 7, and then Story Time with Argyle and Renee at 9. Yeah. See, I'm actually really glad that we don't have carpeting in this house right now, because there's no way I would have been able to clean that up. But the hardwood floor wasn't so bad. Irene, I was almost late for my own live because I was too busy chit-chatting in your chat. I didn't want to leave the conversation. I like talking about dogs. Oh, speaking of which, Simpson, hey, you with the vase, come here. Come here. Come here. She's so camera shy. She really is. Let me show you. Can you see her? Yeah, Simpsons. Oh, my Simmy. Simmy wants belly rubs. She's my belly girl. She loves belly rubs. But that's my Simmy. Sorry, my camera's crappy. Oh, no problem, Irene. Yeah, she is very beautiful. And I mean, the boxer part of her, when I got her, she was 6 weeks old, and I was a little worried that she was going to have the snaggly teeth on the in the front. But she's got just her bottom 4 teeth stick out above her top lip just a little bit, but only every once in a while. It's not a constant thing, and they're all straight. So, yeah, she's she uses her front feet a lot. You can definitely tell she's got boxer. Although she looks more like a small pit. But and she's brindle and white, and she's so cute. She was the only brindle and white in the litter of 12 that got turned into the animal shelter. Yeah, I love brindles. I had a big old brindle pit bull when I was in Massachusetts. His name was Venom. I did not name him. He was already named that. He was 18 months old when we got him, and he was very protective of women and children. I love getting gifts in the mail, Kristen. Gifts are awesome. They make you feel good. And he was just massive. That dog had to weigh at least 90 to 100 pounds. And I took him to a vet, and I was like, is this dog pure pit bull, or is he mixed with something? And she said that from what she could tell, that he was probably like about 7 or 8 years back in his lineage, was mixed with English Mastiff, the really big drooly ones. Hey, my badass in the house. And that's why he was so massive. But he was a very bright brindle. So when the first time my kids, they were little, they were like 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. The first time they saw him, they were like, "Mommy, you got us a tiger." Because the brown on him was so bright, it was orangish, so it looked like he had tiger stripes. Yeah, it was like, yeah, just for you, I got you a tiger. I have no living room furniture. I have a broken recliner in my living room that my son dragged in and then broke. That needs to go out. But I don't have living room furniture. It would be too hard for me to get off the furniture anyway, because there isn't couches or chairs that are high enough that I can't afford furniture anyway, but there isn't anything high enough that I'd be able to get up off of because of my knee. Yeah, the people in the UK, there was somebody in Victoria's chat this morning that said it was like 90 degrees Fahrenheit there. I'm like, or it's supposed to get 90 degrees Fahrenheit or something earlier. I was like, holy crap, that's hot for the UK. They're all going to melt. And here in South Carolina, where it's usually sweltering, it's only like 77, 78 degrees. The hell? Weird things happen on my laptop. I don't know. Things pop up and I'm not even touching it. I'm like, okay then. Oh, it's currently 84 outside, which for Celsius would be 29. See, I like to translate for my UK people so they don't have to do the calculation. Oh, poor Wendy's melting. Yeah, Bobby, I used to love just kicking back in big oversized couches or oversized chairs or like a love seat or whatever. But my living room is going to be my craft room now. Things are getting changed around. This storage unit behind me is going to be in the small room. That's going to be my storage area. And I'll have my bedroom back, and my craft stuff will be out in the living room. And that's fine for me. I mean, I don't have company. I don't have people that come here. I don't have any like friends that hang out here. So, and I have a few kitchen chairs if they need some place to sit. And the kitchen chairs are wood, so that means they won't stay long. So it works, you know. Yeah, Papa, you can keep 98. I'm good. Thanks. Fish fry, anyone? I don't know, Wes, but you missed an announcement about some video that's releasing tonight or Wednesday, whatever. I don't know. Wendy, well, what if you get new neighbors that have kids? Hey, Rhonda. Wendy and her dirty gnomes. Oh my God. Pervy little gnomes. Okay, there has to be another significance behind fish fry that I'm not aware of, so I'll just go with it. And because Rhonda's laughing way too hard for that to have just been a normal thing. Aw, Wendy. Put up a sign, no kids allowed. So put up a sign that says no kids allowed because I want to put out dirty gnomes. Well, Kevin just posted a 54-second video that says something is brewing. Interesting. I'm going to watch that when my show is over. Yeah, my mom. I'm so glad my mom is feeling better. She really had me scared, and I told her that I wanted to do a smaller grocery order so she wouldn't have as much to carry because it does tire her out still carrying stuff. I mean, it would tire her out anyway before, but now it's worse. And I told her, I was like, if we do smaller, just shop for the week, then it'll be significantly less for you to carry. And she's like, well, I'd rather not make multiple trips to the store, so I'll just get as much as I can. I'm like, oh. So I gave her the smallest list I possibly could to be able to cover me for, a little bit. And she ended up adding to it. I'm like, woman, you're nuts. But yeah, I have more food in my house than I've had since, well, I can remember. I don't even know what to eat first. I'm like, yeah, it's weird having that big of a choice, I don't know what the hell to do with myself. I'm like, ooh, I could have lunch. People need to understand old news is exactly that, ain't worth shit. Okay? Well, it kind of depends on the news, I would imagine. Because there's some things that, like scams or lies, that bilk people out of money that, even though it's old news, should still be remembered. Yeah? Just as an example off the top of my head. Just saying. That's like people who say to eliminate the word can't from your vocabulary. That's a good theory. It's a really nice philosophy. It's also impossible. There are some things that are just not possible to do. So whether the word is used or not, it's not happening if it can't happen. Right, Wes? The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Thanks for the watch hours. Appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, and make sure to check out Susanna's show, Not My Monkey, Not My Circus, on Friday, because she's doing an interview with Just Sandy, and that's going to be awesome. Yep. I love Sandy. Sandy's awesome. And I love Susanna. Susanna's fantastic. So Right? Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And have a nice day. I said, have a nice day. And my dog looked over at me like, okay. She did. She was totally not even looking at me until I said that. And she looked at me. I'm like, what? I'm talking to you. Just go back to sleep on my pillow. You'll be fine. She's such a princess. Oh. And we're back to awkward silence. Dun dun dun. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But things are actually on a positive note today, which is a good thing. Because I don't like it when it's not. Makes me cranky, you know? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nobody is sending me a memo and messages, so I still have no idea what's going on. People need to keep me in on a loop. You know how nosy I am. God. Okay, now my house is starting to heat up. Ugh. I am, TG. I'm seriously nosy. I do. I hate not knowing stuff. Not to the point that I'll harass people about it. I'll joke around about it, but I won't harass them. Like, I'm not going to go messaging Wes or Rhonda and be like, tell me what's happening. No, I'm good. But, you know, but if they want to, it's like, but I am very nosy. Yeah, Kristen, I'm not, unless I'm sleeping. And that's not really stupid. It just never lasts long enough. Um, yep. Fun, fun, fun till our daddy takes our T-Bird away. Uh, I'm just going to stop trying to sing. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, I tell you. I got a memo. Thank you. Oh, oh, jeez. So stupid. That's so stupid. Yeah, I agree with what else I just got. I agree. And cue the Wicked Witch of the West theme. My mom is calling me. I'll be right back. Continue to talk amongst yourselves. No, Wes, aliens didn't get me. My mom did. The Wicked Witch of the West theme song came on, and how to answer my phone. My mom was very stressed out about the whole landlord situation. So, hi, Tina. I missed her too. I don't talk to her that much because I don't want to bother her because I know she's tired. So I don't message her as often as I used to until they get Tim all situated. And oh, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil.
Hi, y'all.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Tina.
Hello.
So how did everything go?
Smaller. What the hell?
Brightness. Sorry. It's been so long since I've had anybody up here with me, I forgot. I'm out of practice.
Well, get your shit together, woman.
Honey, my shit's been together and I'm tired and I hurt. And the landlord didn't even come in the house.
Oh, well.
The power of boners, man. He had a girl in the truck. He didn't want to take the time to come in the house.
So, update on the 10th. He's doing good as far as post-surgery.
Good.
3 weeks out from the original, 2 weeks out from the second one. He's still doing the shaky thing. Shake and bake is still here.
Yep.
Magic Fingers is still here with the bed shaking. Can't help it. As far as the visit from seeing the neurosurgeon, everything went well with that. Our follow-up visit with the ENT yesterday went very well.
Good.
We have a follow-up appointment to have some blood work done from the endocrinologist and all that coming up. And then we go back and see the ENT in 2 weeks as another follow-up.
Yep.
His eyesight's a little bit better. Still hinky. Still having the headaches. He's still way off balance, so his equilibrium is still off. He's still dizzy. Turn that camera over. Have him have a look at you, boy.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim.
I'm still above ground, y'all. See?
Yay.
Hi.
People have been asking about you.
G. Hi, everybody.
But
Yep. I'm still here.
Yay. I'm glad.
Got all the packing out yesterday, so no more saltiness.
Well, that's good.
It was just nothing but salty taste and smell, and my eyes were just all saltiness. And so far, none of that today. Yay!
I'm glad.
So, me too. But I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm better than what I have been in a way.
Well, any improvement is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Hello again, Irene.
Yeah. So, yeah. That is true. It's a little bit at a time.
Yeah. And hopefully, as you continue to heal inside, that will continue to improve. I hope.
Yeah. That's just
the
most I can hope for.
Yeah.
So, but I got to go. I got to go get some groceries up in the house. We're kind of lacking thereof. So, youngest girl's gonna chauffeur me around and get some food stuff so the chef can cook.
Cool.
So, and guess who the chef is?
You.
Uh-huh.
My mom brought me groceries.
Bottle washer's got to get back in business.
My mom brought me groceries today, and she even brought me treats. She brought me extra. Yeah. She brought me an Edwards frozen chocolate cream pie.
Ooh, that's yummy.
And she brought me 2 pints of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. One is chocolate peanut butter, which is my favorite, and the other is caramel waffle cone.
Oh, cool.
I was like, oh, I got treats, yay! So she bought too much. Because I tried to make my list as small as possible because I didn't want her carrying that much because she still tires out really easy. And she went and bought extra stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah, well,
but I did, when I just talked to her, she said her legs were still a little sore, but she feels a lot better than she has in the past 16 days. So that's a good
But
thing.
also, she got out and did something, and that makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
yeah.
And I was able to let her know that, as far as my interaction with the landlord today, I'm not getting evicted. He's, I asked him, I said, are you coming in? And he's like, well, did you get the floors cleaned up? Because apparently he thought that I was just leaving everything sitting on the floor from the dogs. And I'm like, hi. I'm like, if you had asked, I would have told you I clean it up twice a day. Whenever I go out there, I clean it up. But he thought I was just letting all the dog mess pile up. And I'm like, ew, no, I'm not living like that. No. So he asked if the floors were cleaned, and I was like, yeah. I was like, in the bathroom got cleaned as much as I can reach, and I cleaned up all the trash that my son left laying all over the place. And he goes, oh, well, then we're fine. And I reminded him that the flooring had started coming up when we first moved in. And he said, yeah, I remember. He goes, it's just that cheap stick on flooring anyway. I'm like, you were freaking out and being rude to me over cheap stick on flooring. Seriously? So he said that as soon as Miha's not in the house anymore, that he'll come in and grab a sample of the flooring. And he goes, and I'll go pick up more of the stick-on stuff and cover it. I'll replace the stuff that's coming up. I'm like, and he didn't even say I'd have to pay for it. Hi, Susanna.
Ooh, hi, Susanna.
So, yeah. And he didn't come in. He had a girl in the truck. So, the power of boners.
We'll catch you later. I'm going to go get what I got to get done.
Love you, Tim.
Love yous. See you
So
later.
the power of boners was on my side today.
Yeah.
He had a girl in the truck. He didn't want to take the time to come in the house. Leave his girl sitting in the truck. So now whether it was his girlfriend or not, I have no idea. He has been known to keep company when she's not around. You know what I'm saying? But
I got to adjust the camera. My husband is not good at that.
So yeah, and I only had 20s, so I told him I needed change for, the rent. And I said, $15. And he pulls out this huge stack of bills, right? And I'm like, must be nice. And he's like, well, I don't have 15. He had 14. I was like, 14's fine. Don't worry about it. And because I'm not going to quibble over $1,
Yeah.
And he goes, well, why don't you just hold on to the 20 and just give me the 5 next month? I'm like, first you're threatening to evict me, and now you're just like, I'm like, okay. I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, because I know he can't evict me over $5. So I'm like, okay. So I got treats from my mom, and I got $20 from the landlord instead of just 15. And he didn't come in and inspect, which almost made me mad. I busted my ass. I hurt myself overdoing it to get everything. Because cleaning up, it wasn't cleaning up after the dogs that killed me. It was cleaning up after my son that killed me. All the trash that he left in the bathroom and all the stuff he left all over the kitchen. It was a mess. And
well, at least it's done. And,
it's done.
Hey.
Yeah. My mom said she was very proud of me, and the house looked incredibly better than it had. And she doesn't understand why a perfectly healthy 27-year-old couldn't do that when somebody who's not perfectly healthy and in a wheelchair could do it. I'm like, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. If you can talk to him, I don't know. He's living his life,
Yeah.
But yeah, I still would have done it. It's just, I would have been able to do a little bit at a time instead of all of it in 2 days. I did say boners. The power of boners. There's men boners and there's lady boners. It depends on the people involved.
Exactly.
And the power of boners was strong with the landlord because he was running off my porch. He's like, see you later, bye. Back in the truck with the girl. I'm like, yep, bye. I was almost mad that he wouldn't come in and look at the house after everything I did. I'm like,
You'd be a little upset, but, like I said, at least it's done. And, it's one less thing to worry about.
Yeah.
And it's easier to maintain now.
Well, and there's still going to be professional cleaners that are going to come in once Miha's not in the house anymore. And after that, it will definitely be easier to maintain because the only rooms that didn't get cleaned by my mother, which is better than professional cleaners, let me tell you, is the kitchen and the bathroom. So I mean, the living room and the craft room, what's currently the craft room, they both got really well cleaned. So they just have to be, just basic clean. It's the bathroom and the kitchen that need a good douching. So not much, Susanna. My landlord's visit was anticlimactic, and all of my stress and anxiety was basically for nothing. Well, I'm glad you have a toilet now, Irene. It's always a good thing. Not having one is very inconvenient. So, yeah, he, at least I'm not getting evicted. That was a huge stress. I have been stressing out anxiety attacks multiple times a day and stress and everything else for days. Hey, Dana. Thank you, Bobby. And now I'm just like, it's like, so, because being evicted was the biggest worry. I mean, I'm stressing about the dog. I feel bad about Miha. I do. It's heartbreaking for me, but he didn't say anything about getting rid of, Simi or the cats, which is good because I would have cried. I did tell him about the kennel. I have a fundraiser benefit type of thing in the works. So we don't have details yet, but it's being in the works to raise the money for that so that I'll be able to let Simi outside safely for both her and me. And Susanna, I love you. Not reading that out loud. Yeah, I don't know. He's really good to look at, but I don't know about the rest of it. My landlord's pretty hot. He is. He's all bulked up and he's tatted up and he's sweet to look at. He's good eye candy. But I don't know if he was just. He's never talked to me like he did in text the day the toilet flooded. He's never spoken to me like that before. So either he couldn't get his drugs or he was on them or something, but it was not in character. And it upset me a lot that he talked to me like that. But today he was back to his mellow. It was so much better when he was just smoking pot. He was just so mellow and like, yeah, whatever. But then he started doing other things and his emotions are kind of all over the place. So you never know what you're going to get. But he is pretty to look at. He's got a lot of tribal work done, tattoo work. I love tribal tattoos. So yeah, he's going to take a sample of the floor and get the stuff to replace the parts that are pulling up. And didn't even tell me he was going to charge me for it. Well, he might tell me later, but...
Well, he shouldn't.
Well, considering he acknowledged that the flooring was already coming up. But, of course, that would be my word against his. He shouldn't, but that doesn't mean he won't. And since I have no way to prove it, yeah. So, but it still turned out to be a better day than I thought it was going to be, and yeah, it was totally anticlimactic.
I can't believe it's the 8th and he's finally coming to get the rent. Hello.
I know.
Talk about being late.
Yeah. Yet if I don't pay my rent by the 5th of the month, I get charged $25. I should have been like, if you're late picking it up, does that mean I get to charge you $25?
Usually he is spot freaking on.
So, but I let him know on the 3rd that I would have the rent on the 4th, and I let him know on the 4th that I had the rent, because I have to let him know by the 5th what's going on with the rent. Otherwise, it's considered late on the 5th. Like on the 6th, it would be considered late, and he charges $25. And he knew on the 4th that I had the money in my hand, so he can't charge me that. And it was in text, so I have proof. Oh, and then he was going to come yesterday and pick it up. And I stayed awake after busting my ass, and I was so tired, and I hadn't slept. And I was just like, ugh. At 4:30, he still hadn't gotten here. I was like, so I texted him. I was like, so since it's 4:30, I take it you're not going to be here today? He goes, yeah, I'm not going to make it. I'm like, okay, see you tomorrow. And then this morning I texted him. It was like 10 o'clock. My mom had just left, so I texted him, asked him when he was going to be coming by, if he knew. And he's like, around 3. And I'm like, oh, good, I get to sleep. I slept for like an hour. I'm like, shit. But Suzanne, I want to thank you for mentioning my show on your show today. I had actually, because of everything going on, I had forgotten that I was supposed to do a show today. I've just been so busy trying to think of everything I had to do and getting it done and then doing it and hurting and just, ugh, my brain was just fried. So, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. And I did have to leave everybody for a little while because he did show up around 3 o'clock. So I left the chat on its own for, I thought it was going to be, 20, 30 minutes. And it turned out to be like 10, 10, 15. So. Not my alarm clock, Susanna. Not an alarm clock. I set my alarm so I could do my show. And I woke up an hour and a half before it went off. No, just a reminder. I had forgotten. I would have remembered, I'm sure, because I'm like Wednesday. I know trash goes out today. What else am I supposed to do? Oh, yeah, my show. So, yeah. And then I was almost late to my own show again because I was busy chit-chatting in Irene's chat on her live about puppy dogs because, I love my Simmy and I love talking about my Simmy, so. And
I had told Irene about a pupper dog that I had prior.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Q from like Star Trek Next Generation, Q.
Yeah.
And she was a Heinz 57 and she chewed through everything. She literally chewed through my drywall, ate the drywall, the insulation in the wall, clean through to my outside siding.
Wow.
Thank God the siding was metal.
Right?
Because it was a mobile home.
Not the kind of air conditioning you want.
No. And
Well,
it was a good sized hole. We had to replace about a 3x3 piece.
Wow.
By the time you cut it out and made it, nice and pretty.
Yeah.
In order to replace it.
Well, the Great Dane that I was supposed to dog sit for a month that I ended up with for 9 months. She was 9 months old when I got her, 18 months old when I finally was able to turn her over to the animal shelter before they changed into this. And you could just take the dogs there and drop them off instead of making a fucking appointment that they won't make for you. She ate my house. She went through 3 couches. And when I say she went through 3 couches, I mean literally she chewed downward through the cushions all the way to the springs. She ate every plastic cooking utensil in my house. Like plastic spoons that you stir and spatulas and everything. She destroyed a bunch of the kids' toys because they kept forgetting to leave their doors closed. And I told them, leave your doors closed. The dog's going to get your stuff. And, oh, geez, Wes, seriously. And when she started, she ruined the carpet because she would tell me when she had to go out when we were home. But when nobody was home, she would pee all over my floor.
What did you do to get a whole playlist there, Wes?
And so we had to rip the carpeting out of the mobile home. And then when she started chewing on the wall, I had enough. I called Great Dane Rescue. I did try and turn her over to them. And they told me I had to get her heartworm tested. I had to take her to the vet. I'm like, this is not my dog. I have my own dogs. I was like, I do not have the money to spend on someone else's dog like that. And they're like, well, we can't take the dog without blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so what I did is I wrote down their information and I took her to the animal shelter and gave the animal shelter the number for Great Dane Rescue. I said, here, call these people. Have a nice day. She was a gorgeous dog. She was white with the little guppy marks. So she kind of looked like almost like a Dalmatian, but her spots were tiny. And her name was Lucky.
Here,
and okay. And she was so sweet. That dog had the sweetest soul. I mean, She'd walk up and just lay her head over your shoulder, like to give you a hug. She was so sweet. But she just, the separation anxiety. And John and I were both working, and one of us couldn't be home with her all the time. So, yeah, and I already had a Great Dane. John had just bought me a Great Dane for my birthday. He was 4 months old. So I'm trying to house train the 4-month-old Great Dane with a 9-month-old Great Dane pissing all over my house. So, yeah. And the owner never contacted me in 9 months. I never heard from her once. She didn't supply any dog food. She didn't come see her dog, nothing. So I was like, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to get the dog somewhere that will find a good home. And, that's what I did. But yeah, she tried to destroy my house. And that's the most destructive dog I have ever had in my life, in my home. Ever. Simi doesn't chew anything. She's never chewed up anything. She'll get into like the trash if there's something with food in it. Like I had a paper towel that had crumbs, and she chewed that up. But I was gone for like 3 hours, so who knows when she chewed it up. It was all dry by the time I got home. But yeah, that was a mess to clean up. But she doesn't chew up stuff she's not supposed to. I do have to get her Kong toys because she's a very aggressive chewer, is what they call it. She destroys toys. She like I told Irene, she destroys tennis balls with extreme prejudice. Susanna, Kodi dear, tell me the happiest memories you have. Having my children. When I gave birth to my children. Well, it's a huge relief that they were finally out on the outside and not the inside. And just, because back then they still liked me. So that was a happy memory when they were little, yeah. And it was always mommy fix it, They always came to me for everything. Those are happy memories. And I have a lot of happy memories with my pets and John. Although John is kind of a 50-60 type of thing. There were a lot of good benefits with John around, and there were a lot of negative with John around. But on the 60%, it was positive. For him being such an asshole,
Hi, Kristen.
I don't know. I have a lot of happy memories. Of course, there was no, cell phones and camera phones and stuff to capture all that stuff. It's not all the happy memories were angelic, if you know what I mean. There's no video, there's no photos, there's no proof. That's all I'm saying. Now Susanna's got me thinking. I'm like, I mean, I have a lot of happy memories from when I was a kid, and like hanging out with my friends up in Massachusetts when I talked on the CB, and I was just hanging out with my CBer friends, things like that. Yeah, when I had friends in real life that I could like reach out and smack if I wanted to. Kodi, tell me about you. Kodi is. I just did, Susanna. If I sat here and told you everything, we would be here for hours. Hours. Wes. I'm glad you're back home, Kristen. Susanna, people pretty much know everything about me anyway. I don't hide anything, good or bad.
Oh, Susanna, really, I don't have that much time to spend today. I would have to leave. I love you, but no.
I know. I mean, if you ask me a specific question, I can answer it, but just rambling on. I mean, because I worked loss prevention for 2 years, so I have a crap ton of stories about shoplifters. I've worked in pet stores, so I have a lot of animal stories. I've always owned pets, so there's lots of animal stories. Of course, there were the children. And we don't want to talk about the men. No. We leave those out of it. I had enough children's stories, so I don't need more. I will say, and I've said it before, I am glad that I did the things that I did when I was younger because with my situation now, yeah, Darlene, seriously, with my situation that I'm in now physically, I I wouldn't be able to do the things that I did. Who is Kodi? Kodi is wackadoodle. That's who Kodi is. I I'm what I am. What you see is what you get. Why you got a fucking problem with that, Susanna? What the fuck? Don't forget to tell Tina I said, how the fuck are ya? Hot sauce, Kristen. Put some hot sauce on it. If you don't have any of the bitter apple type of stuff that they make for pets, put hot sauce on it. That's how we kept all the puppies off the electrical cords in my house.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, Wes, but do you really want those people subbing to you? Think about it. Kodi is a pretty true person. I mean, you ask me a question. If I don't want to answer it, I'll tell you I'm not answering that question. But 9 times out of 10, I will answer directly and honestly any question that someone has, which can get very dangerous and more details than you want. So keep that in mind before you ask a question. People don't always like the answers they get. I just am how I am. I've always been this way. I mean, there was a point in my life after I moved to South Carolina. I was here about maybe 6 months, and I had been one of those people that, because I'm a bigger person, it was hard to figure out if someone who wanted to be with me actually wanted to be with me, or if they were just with me because they got fat girls never got sex, so they figured I'd be easy, which no, I wasn't. So if the person I was with that I invested time with was like, fuck this, I'm leaving, I would get hysterical. I mean, I would lose my brain over it. And John did that to me a couple of times, and I was a mess. And one day I sat there and I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'll help him pack. It's like I got this epiphany. Like, if he wants to go, I'm not keeping him here. I don't need this shit. So I opened the door. I was like, hold on, you forgot your shit. Because he was walking up the driveway. And he stopped me, looked at me, goes, what? I was like, you said you're done. You're leaving. I said, come get your shit. Because if you're leaving, you ain't coming back. And yeah, he changed his mind. And I was like, don't ever threaten me again. The next time you threaten to leave, just go. Just don't bother coming back because I'm not going to let you back in the door. And I was like, you don't have the right to treat me like that, and I don't deserve it. And I said, you either treat me like the goddess I am, or you don't need to be with me. And well, he fucked up a few more times, and I said, okay, we're just friends now. Because otherwise, I'm going to have to kill you. So.
Nothing like playing with the camera. Seasick, everybody?
There you go. You got it. So.
Ow, ow, ow.
And once when John married Issa, he you had to dumbsplain everything to Issa. She didn't comprehend. She had no comprehension skills whatsoever. So every once in a while, I would say something, and he'd start dumbsplaining something to me, and I'd sit there and look at him and go, "Excuse me, who are you talking to?" And he'd go, "I'm talking to you." Oh yeah, never mind. I'm like, Or if he was irritated at her, he would start talking to me like he was irritated at me, and I'm like, okay, when you can check yourself and use a different tone of voice, then come talk to me. Until then, the conversation is no longer going to continue because you will not speak to me like that. And I'd walk away, and he'd be like, nope, not doing it. He had a couple of women that he dated. I called them turnips because that's how smart they were. That he would end up having phone wars with, like texting back and forth and hanging up, calling and hanging up and then calling back. And we got in a fight on the phone once, and I was like, you know what? I'm not having this conversation with you. I was like, I'm not fighting with you. I was like, I'll talk to you later. And I hung up. And a half an hour later, that's right, I am. Half an hour later, he calls me. He goes, "You didn't call me back." I'm like, "Why would I do that?" He goes, "Well, you hung up on me." I'm like, "Yes, that means the conversation is over. Why would I call you back?" He goes, "I don't get it." I'm like, "Okay, you need help." I'm like, "I'm not doing phone wars with you. That's not how I am. Do you not know me? Hello." So I just came to the conclusion that I didn't deserve to be treated like shit and refused to be treated that way by, someone who says they love me and want to be with me. Hey, Sandy. So yeah, that was my epiphany. That happened in the year 2000, as a matter of fact, 21 years ago.
Hi, Sandy. How are you, dear?
Because nobody should be treated like that. I mean, when you tell somebody you love them, you're not supposed to be mean to them. Welcome back, badass. I mean, you can get in fights with someone, and you can get a fight or an argument with somebody and not be nasty, and threaten to leave or walk out or whatever. It's like, no, don't do that. And I've never had the whole attitude where I need a man in my life, or that I need a significant other in my life, to feel like a whole person. Issa does. Issa's one of those people that needs to have a man in her life where she doesn't feel like she's a real woman. But I've never been like that. I'm perfectly fine on my own. Because she was, "Oh, we need to find you a man." I'm like, no, you don't. Because one, no, I'm not getting hooked up with anybody that Issa might recommend. No, thank you.
Good night, Wendy. Love you, honey.
Good night, Wendy. I hope you stop melting. I hope it cools down for you. It's very hot in the UK today. It's like 90 degrees there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wendy's melting. So I don't know specifically, Susanna, what you want to know. You've got to be more specific. Otherwise, I just keep rambling and Tina doesn't get a word in edgewise. Go ahead, say, "That's okay, I'm used to it."
Hence why, there's no point in having a second on your panel.
I like to have company. Sorry, I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my favorite topic, food, glorious.
I knew she was going to do that. Just to let you know, the days that you're not here, I tell people, I say, "Okay, we have to talk about food on our Tina because she's not here." I do.
Food, glorious food. Papa, what is the food for the day, honey? Because you always doing some food down there.
Tina, I have so much food in my house right now, I don't know what to eat first. This is not a decision I usually have to make. My mom went nuts. And I have something in my eye and it's bugging me.
It's your finger. Get it out of there.
It is now.
Right, Sandy?
Sandy, Meals on Wheels is me when I make dinner. Because I'm in a wheelchair, so Meals on Wheels. I called my friend Rosa that once when she was on roller skates, roller skating around the parking lot. A friend of mine said, "Who do you think you are?" I said, "What, are you kidding? That's Rose. She's Meals on Wheels." And everybody just died laughing. It was funny.
Yeah. Papa always got something good going on down there, Texas.
It's hot in Texas today, too. It's almost 100 degrees there. We had that temperature discussion earlier.
I don't know what it is here, and yeah. It's cool in my house, and that's all I care about.
It was cool in my house. I shut the AC off. I shut the AC off when the landlord came over because I had the door open, and I didn't want him freaking out about me straining the AC unit, so I shut the AC and I forgot to turn it back on. It's warming up a little bit in my house, but I'll turn it back on when I get back out.
TG, food.
Food. Yep.
I'll say. Sundays, TG always goes to Mom's for dinner. So I'm going to guess they probably had pasta of some sort of rice.
Well, I know yesterday in Larry's auction, she said she was eating spaghetti and meatballs because we know how much TG loves her balls. And he yelled at her for eating spaghetti and meatballs and not giving him any. Amy, I hope everything was okay with you yesterday. You disappeared out of the auction. We figured your internet dropped or something. Scrambled omelet. Wouldn't a scrambled omelet be scrambled eggs? Mushrooms, onions, garlic, ham, roasted asparagus. Nice.
Hold the asparagus because I still have not been able to wrap my taste buds around that, but everything else sounds wonderful.
Hi, Tina B.
Tina B.
Amy.
Tim is doing good. He's still a little bit off kilter. 3 weeks out from the original surgery, 2 weeks out from the second emergency one. We went to the ENT yesterday. He got the packing out. He's doing good. The eyesight is still not great. Still having headaches. Removing the masses did not affect the shakes. I still have a shake and bake. I would try it, Papa. I would. I really would. But he's still off balance. I had to send him out to go do some shopping. Our youngest daughter has took him to go do some grocery shopping because for once our cupboard and freezer and fridge is bare for a change.
Hey, I was nowhere near your freezer and fridge. It's not there.
Play on words. But,
hey, Papa, I would try that omelet too, but I don't really like mushrooms with eggs, but I'd still try it.
but I thank you. But other than that, I mean, he is doing really good. But I just, as far as somebody, getting their, marbles played with, he's doing good.
Yeah, his head was a scrambled omelet. I have a personal chef. She's called Mrs. Stopers. I like Marie Callender's stuff.
I'm gonna say I have one. Her name is Marie Callender.
Yeah.
Also, Tim.
Yeah. Stover's stuff has almost like a slight chemical taste to me. Marie Callender does not, so I like Marie Callender better. My mom actually picked me up 2 of the Salisbury steak meals and 4 pot pies, 2 chicken and 2 turkey. So for those days that I'm just like, oh my God, I can't cook and I don't want peanut butter sandwiches, I have fallbacks. Oh, your electricity went out. We figured it was, well, people mentioned that too, that you might have lost power. I figured it was something like that. I was like, damn, I finally make it to Amy's auction and she disappeared. Because I jumped in and started helping them moderate yesterday. So, I was trying to stay awake because my landlord was supposed to show up and I figured if I was moderating, I wouldn't fall asleep. Although there were a few auctions that went 5 or 6 hours that I actually did start falling asleep while I was moderating. With my fingers on the keyboard, I was like, oh, hello, what I miss?
Beefing, that sounds so good, Tina.
Oh, a transformer balloon. Yeah, that'll do it. Didn't they know you were having an auction? They should wait until you were done. Oh, now that sounds really good, Papa. That would almost be worth moving to Texas to live next to Papa to get some leftovers.
Oh, that sounds so good, Papa.
Yeah. Wow, it was the main transformer then. Damn. Well, I'm
Chili.
glad they got it fixed.
That sounds good too, TG. Have mercy.
Well, I've got chicken strips. My mom, I did try to get the healthier Tyson grilled and ready chicken, and I described it precisely to her. She said they didn't have it. There's nothing in there that's anything. I'm like, there's 3 different kinds. Yes, there is. I've been in that store. Yes, there is. So
well, they may not have had any though.
Yeah, it might have been out. So she got me.
I've been in my local Walmart. We went to Walmart the other day. We came home from a doctor's appointment. Yeah, doctor's appointment. And I'm like, honey, I know we're just coming in from a doctor's appointment, but
Bye, Irene. Have a good night.
go. See you later, Irene. But we really need to run to Walmart because we need some things.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, and I got a prescription that we need to pick up. I said, all right. So, but yeah, empty shelves in the freezer department. You just name it. I mean, there were so many bare shelves.
You're welcome, Irene. She said, thank you, Mom, Kodi, for coming to my live again. You're welcome. It was fun.
Anytime that I manage to still be awake at noon, I'm there.
Yeah. I had actually set my alarm for 1:45 and I woke up early. And so when I saw her go on and I was like, you know what? And then go pop in there. And then I got distracted and I was 2:00 and I just made it to my live, my own live. I'm like, oh shit, I'm late.
Ooh, chicken fajitas. See, we're having tacos tonight. Well, soft tacos because I can't do the crunchy shells. But technically what I do is I take a soft shell, lay it down, and I make myself a taco salad on top of it.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm getting the call.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she got me chicken patties, she got me chicken strips, she got me my hamburger patties, and then the Marie Callender meals. Plus, she picked me up hot dogs and hot dog rolls, and just my vegetables that I requested, all kinds of stuff. So I have a lot of food in my house. I'm not used to having this much food in my house. It's nice. It's nice to know that I won't be, having a panic over anything. And it's funny because I told her I needed butter. And I said, the Walmart brand is fine, great value. And she got Land O'Lakes. I'm like, so she paid like almost twice as much for butter than she had to. I'm like, stop that. There are certain things that generic will work. Butter is one of them. Cheese is not. I don't like Walmart cheese. But I did request my mozzarella provolone mix for the Sargento's mozzarella. Well, I had requested the mozzarella slices, but she couldn't find them. So I was like, can you grab the shredded stuff? Because I put that in my burgers. It's really good if I have mushrooms and onions that I saute and put on there, but I'm leery about getting fresh stuff because if I don't use it, it goes bad and then I feel guilty for wasting food. So, yeah. Amy, it's not me. So, but it's nice. And she apparently was very worried about me running out of food. And I kept telling her I wasn't out of food. I still had some hamburger patties. I have tons of eggs, which is why I told Kevin when he said one morning that he was out of eggs and he was pissed, that I have plenty. All he has to do is get here and I'll give him some. No, Tina B, we did not get the craft room set up because my mom had COVID and she's been sick for 16 days. My son moved out and pretty much abandoned me for physical health wise. And what my mom and I are going to do is, instead of using that craft room for my craft room, we're going to use the living room for the craft room and use the small room as a storage room because that can be closed off and I won't have all the boxes and totes piled up. And if the landlord comes in, it won't be like right in his face looking like a storage unit. So, yeah. She was like, you can't have all those boxes that are in your room in the living room. And I'm like, well, where else am I going to put them? She goes, put them in the small room. I'm like, we already started moving the craft stuff in there. She goes, well, we can move it out. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, she wants to switch the rooms. Luckily, we weren't able to get everything in there. So there's only, I think like 6 boxes of stuff that's in the craft room, plus my table that will have to come out of there and go in the living room. So
Okay.
she is feeling better. Tina B, she was able to do a short run to Walmart yesterday. She did it as a test run because she was so upset about me not having food and her not being able to bring me food. I'm like, Mom, I'm fine. I have food. I'm not starving. But she wasn't listening because Mom doesn't. That she went and picked up groceries for me today and bought extra and carried it all into the house. She even got the dog food because my son, I haven't heard from my son on Saturday. He said, I'll pick up the dog food later because I forgot to grab it and I'm late for work, so I'll get it later. And I haven't heard from him. And of course, he didn't even ask if the dogs were out of food. So for all he knew, the dogs haven't eaten since Saturday. I still had food, so they were fine, but not the point, So my mom carried a 15-pound bag of dog food. I was not happy. I told her to take the walker down with her, put the dog food on the walker seat, and bring it up that way, and she wouldn't do it. So I tried. And then I made her rest for a little while before she left. And she's sitting down for 30 seconds. I mean, her butt barely hit the chair, and she's ready to get up again. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm going to get headed home. I was like, you're going to sit for a few more minutes. Relax. It's okay. So I made her sit still for a little bit, and then she headed home. So, yeah, so everything's all taken care of, and she is feeling a lot better. She said she's felt. Oh yeah, he took his dog. I have Miha and I have my Simi. Unfortunately, I have to turn Miha over to the animal shelter if they ever get back to me with an appointment, which I have new emails. And of course, none of them is the animal shelter, and they're closing in 10 minutes. Thank you so much, people, for your consideration.
Correct, Bobby.
Yeah, I am too, Sandy. Well, it's not genetic, Bobby, because I'm adopted, but
Yeah, but we take on traits.
yeah. So I do have to turn Miha over to the shelter, and I found out that it was his dog. He was yelling at Miha for going to the bathroom in the kitchen. For the accidents that were in the kitchen, there has not been a single accident in my kitchen since Rogue has been out of this house. So it was his dog that was going to the bathroom in the kitchen, and he was yelling at Miha. So I'm glad she's not getting yelled at anymore. But I can't take care of both of them. I can't. Even if we raise the money to get the kennel so that I can put Simi out, I still have to do dog rodeo. I'd have to corral the dog in the room and back and forth in the wheelchair. And I've got tendonitis now in both arms. And it's just too much strain in the wheelchair. So I have been talking to somebody about doing a fundraiser to raise the money to get a kennel. No, I can't. I have nobody that will take her, Tina. I tried. No, I don't have any people here, so no, there isn't anybody. So yeah, we're going to be doing a fundraiser to raise some money to get a kennel that I can put so that it will be 3-sided, so that it encloses it comes all the way to the house in like a 3-sided thing, so that it's enclosed the door, the stairs, so that all I have to do is open the door and the dog will be able to go outside. And that will make it a lot safer for her and me. I won't have to worry about falling down the stairs, and she won't have to worry about getting stuck or getting attacked by other dogs. So my neighbors I already talked to Ronnie, who's been helping with trash and making store runs for me, and he told me that to just let them know when it gets here and they'll assemble it for me and set it up. So Yeah. And I want to be able to give them a little bit of cash for helping because they never ask me for anything. They don't even ask me for gas money. I've tried to get them to keep the change. Like if I have $20 and they're going to be spending, 15 on stuff I want at the store, I'm like, just keep the $5 for gas. And they always give me the $5. They don't even keep loose change. And I'm like, so, I want to be able to give them something for doing manual labor like that. So we figured about $450, $500. The kennel and the stakes to secure it to the ground. Amazon. They have one on Amazon. It's a 10 by 10 by 6, which would be plenty big enough to enclose the steps and have room for her to go to the bathroom. And it's $240 plus $40 shipping. And then we're going to use, they're called trampoline stakes, and they're like 10 stakes similar in the U shape. And they usually made a rebar. And they're used for holding trampolines to the ground so that they don't flip. And those are $20, but those are on Amazon Prime, so it's free shipping, and then plus tax. So it comes to $320 plus tax, and then I want to be able to give, like I said, I want to be able to give them a little bit. So figure about $450, maybe $500. So, and I should be able to use my prosthetic hopefully by Saturday or Sunday. The shrinking is going well, and I'm going to make the attempt this weekend to start using the prosthetic again, which will make it even more secure for me to be able to open that door. Because sometimes Simi, you open the door, and as soon as she has enough room to get her head through, she's through it, and her shoulders are wider than her head. So I do, Bonnie. I do have a wish list. I could put that in the chat if you want. I have to go get it. Let's see. I don't have the kennel or anything on the wish list because I'm not expecting anybody to be like, oh, well, I'll pay this $500, $400, whatever, And there are a few things on the wish list that are on there just so that I have the reminder for when I have the money for it. Like I found a tub transfer bench and shower chair, which I need to be able to get into the tub. But it's $109. I wouldn't expect any of my friends to pay for that. And there's a desk tray, like a laptop desk tray, computer desk tray, for the wheelchair. It attaches to the leg of the wheelchair so that it would be easy to transfer things. That's over $100. So I just have it's 130. It went back up. I don't expect people to, you know what I mean? It's on there so that I have the link to it. Let's see. Always ask me to put my damn password. How many times do I have to put my password into Amazon today? I ran my CC cleaner last night, and it cleans out all my passwords, so I have to re-put them in when I want to do something. No, my insurance doesn't cover anything like that. Yeah, we have Tractor Supply, and I looked at their, they have one kennel. That's my Amazon wish list. They have one kennel that they carry, and I looked at the reviews, and people were saying that after 2 years, the door to it started falling off, and no. And their customer service sucked. So I'm like, no, I don't want to take the chance on that. This one had decent reviews. I can't, Tina. I got nobody that can go pick it up. And they don't deliver on Marketplace in most places. So I'd have to be able to see it before I bought it. So there's no way for me to do that. So, yeah, there's certain things I'm unable to do. Which is why I'm glad I'm not getting evicted, because I have no way to go look for a place to live. Not to mention be able to afford to move, that kind of thing. Although it was very surprising that I managed to finagle the wheelchair enough that I can reach the tub. Because for the longest time I wouldn't do it, and for some reason I must have hit the angle just right when I was cleaning up the bathroom that I was able to get the wheelchair all the way in the bathroom. I'm like, how the hell did that happen? I haven't been able to do that in a year. What the hell? But yeah, it worked. So I'm like, hey. So I have new goals now. Um, it is hard. I mean, no, you're welcome, honey. Yeah. I'll tell you, getting the stuff with the Swiffer was the best thing that I did. Because I got a double pack of the fluid, the liquid for it, because Issa left a Swiffer wet jet here, and I actually ended up getting generic Amazon brand pads for it, and because there were more in it, and I didn't know how many I was going to need. But using that thing is so much easier than using a mop when you're in a wheelchair. Let me tell you. So yeah. And hi, Bonnie. I was just like, oh, here's the wish list. Sorry. So, yeah, it was a lot easier to be able to clean up the floor with the wet jet. I was like, she left it behind. It's been here for 2 years. I'm going to keep it. It's mine now. My mom told me I should sell the giant TV, and I'm like, well, it's not mine. My son was supposed to buy it from Issa, and he never did. So it's still sitting here, and my mom's like, you should sell that. And I'm like, it's not mine. She goes, she left it there. I'm like, Mom.
Talking about the TV?
Huh?
Talking about the TV?
Mm-hmm.
I told you to sell that some bitch too.
I know. But it's just, it doesn't belong to me. So
sorry, it's been abandoned. It's in your house. And I'm sorry. Hello. It's in your fucking way. Make some money. Get it. Hello.
Yeah, and then she'll turn around and not ever let me talk to Talon again.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Talon is special. He's important. But you know what? Fuck it.
I already lost all 3 of my kids.
But you don't get to see him anyway.
I get to talk to him on the phone once in a while. Hell, I've talked to Talon on the phone more than I've talked to my son. I don't know. I'll just get in touch with her and tell her to come get it. I would not feel right selling the TV. It just, because it doesn't belong to me. I mean, she wants $350 for it. She's not going to get that for it. The TV is, how old is it? John's been gone almost 2 years. He got it like 2 years before, so it's like 4 or 5 years old. So, Kristen, well, if Judge Judy says so. Tina's mad at you.
Car that was sitting in your backyard you sold for junk. Hello.
I did sell that, but they weren't supposed to put that there in the first place. She had a running deal with my son for the TV, so.
Oh, and she's been gone over a month too now. Hello.
Yeah, I know. Wes. Tina's mad at me.
That shit, you still lurking. Game on, let's dance.
Wes, don't dance with crazy people. They step on your feet. Just saying.
If they're really clumsy, they'll get you in the shins.
Yeah. That shit hurts. Although I only have 1 left. It would still hurt. Well, I have 1.5 left. Yeah, Sandy, that's why, I mean, the light bulbs in my room and my ceiling light haven't been changed because I can't reach them. I know she is. I know, but it's not my TV. I can't. You wear your combat boots. Are they steel-toed? Because they have to be steel-toed. No, that's apparently West and Crazy are dancing. I don't know. It's around 457 of the drama train. Or is it 458? I don't know, one of them. I do have a bunch of Black & Decker tools that I could sell, though. I could ask Donnie if he could take them down to the pawn shop for me. I don't know if they work. I mean, they did work, but the roommate used some of them, and he stole the battery packs, so I can't even test them, but they're in my way. So. Well, apparently Wes's combat boots are his dancing shoes. He's ready to go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, yo. Tina, are you coming back?
Dancing with the Stars, dancing. Timmy Poopy.
Yep. Thank you, with the face. And the ass in my face. What the hell? She's like, nope, not gonna be on camera. See you later, bye. Boom, right back on my pillow. Brat. You're Brat.
What are you doing, Oscar? Oscar puppy. I'm just going to flop around and lay on my rug, okay?
Sandy, Kathy and Wes are at it again. Kathy's starting again, or Wes started, or somebody started it up again, and they're going head to head again. There have been threats made. I don't know details. I don't need to know details. He was saying to go tell Kathy Corner that he's ready because she's threatening him. Apparently he has his own playlist on her channel. I don't know.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not your issues. Don't want to know. Yep. Yeah, I just follow and catch bits and pieces. Who knows what's going on? I never know full details. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she loves you. Kristen, you are such an instigator. Oh my God. That's why you have a whole playlist, right? The hell? I don't know that number. Yes, I have Star Wars as my theme ringtone. Kristen.
I definitely duck and cover, Kristen, for sure.
I don't know. She popped in here earlier and said she was releasing videos and da da da. I'm like, whatever. Just ignored it as usual. But Wes said, thank you for proving you're lurking. So I was like, thanks for the watch hours. Hey, whatever floats your boat. If it makes you happy, go for it.
Right?
I don't think he would kill you, Kristen. Bruise you up a little bit, maybe, but not kill you. She's releasing the flying monkeys. Hey, I want a flying monkey, damn it. I can have him fetch shit on tall shelves. I could have the monkey put the dogs out. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yes, he would.
Oh boy. Hmm.
I can guarantee.
You betcha. I guarantee. All kinds of craziness. Drama. Drama.
That's one thing I haven't missed on my hiatus with, just being home and,
Yeah.
taking care of Timmy and trying to take care of myself, which has been a chore in itself because I never
Well, see,
know when I'm going to fall.
I have room now because my personal trauma llama is a little more relieved now because I still think it's funny that I was actually upset he didn't come in the house. I was offended. I'm like, hey, yeah.
Right?
But yeah, that was a huge relief that no eviction was mentioned, and I'm good now. So now I have room. Yeah, falling is bad. Falling is not good. I don't like that feeling, and it scares me, which is why I don't get into the wheelchair that often because of my knee and now my arms because the tendonitis. It's the same as when I was working at Walmart or Kmart when I was doing straightening. It's just a pain in the ass. And I do have one of those little compression things, but I don't know where it is because I got that when I was working there. The doctor told me I had to wear that if I was going to be lifting or whatever. But I know I still have it. I've run across it a few times during my moves and tacking, and I'm like, do I really need this? And I'm like, yeah, I might need that. So I kept it, and so I know I still have it, just
Landed somewhere.
somewhere. Yeah, all of this will be out in the living room or in the craft room. What's currently the craft room will be my storage room. So I'll have a bedroom again. And my craft room will be much bigger. It'll be twice the size that it would be in being in that room. So that's a good thing. And I have built-in shelves. So that's even better. And my aunt is giving me a 6-foot folding table, so I'll have more table space. Well, Tina, at least, I mean, falling is bad anywhere, but at least you were somewhere where you could get help pretty much instantly, right? Falling in the hospital is not good either. John fell in the hospital and they left him on the floor for 20 minutes. It was a custodial person that finally saw him on the floor and went in and were like, oh my God, are you all right? And the guy's like, can you give me, and John was like, can you give me a nurse, please? So, yeah.
Yeah, the nurses and the aides and the techs and stuff that they call them now, they do not peruse the hallways walking up and down to make sure everybody's okay. They wait for a call light.
Yeah, well, he couldn't
And
reach
even
it.
then, they ignore call lights. Trust me.
Yeah, he couldn't reach the call light because he was on the floor. The call light
But
was
still, they do. They ignore.
yeah. Well, every time he saw someone, because his door was open, every time he saw someone walk by, he was like, hey, could you help me? And everybody ignored him. So it wasn't until the custodial person came in to clean the floors in the bathroom and they were like, oh my God, are you okay? So, yeah.
Yeah, help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, to which I put a call into the patient advocate. I was like, people better get him some attention because this is pissing me off. Don't make me come down there. I was like, because I will not only come down there, but I will be calling my attorney before I do.
That was always me when any family member was in the hospital. I would go and I would call, or I would go down to the nurse's station, or I would go wherever I needed to go. If my family members were not getting the care that I felt that they should be getting,
Yep.
hell was had.
Mm-hmm. What's really messed is the 2 times he was in there that I had to call the patient advocate. The one time he was there, his wife was sitting there with him for hours. Not the time he fell, but the other time when he wasn't getting seen and they weren't helping him and they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. She was sitting in the room with him doing nothing. He's like, could you get a patient advocate? And she did nothing. And he was talking to me on the phone and I was like, what is wrong? And he's like, well, aside from physically, and I was like, well, yeah, because your voice sounds weird. What's going on? And he's like, he told me, and I was like, give me 5 minutes. And I called patient advocate and left a voicemail. And within 5 minutes later, there was a victim advocate, patient advocate in his room telling him to please call me and call me off. Please call this person that called us and tell her to calm down. We're here. So he did. So he's like, okay, they wanted me to let you know that the patient advocate is in the room with me right now. I'm like, oh, good. He goes, what did you do? I was like, you don't want to know. He goes, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. He doesn't understand.
Trio, please.
What?
What is our trio? Or does that say our trio? I can't read.
It says capital R and then trio. Could you translate that, Bonnie? Because even I don't know what that is.
Whatever it is, it made her happy.
Well, it's a good thing. I'm glad. Being happy is a good thing. I like it when the people that I like are happy.
I won't make it in time, Papa, but enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Her grandsons' names are Royce, Ruger, and Rayner. So the R trio.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely makes people happy, hearing from your grandkids. Is she hiding videos now, back and forth? Yeah, that's what she does.
Because I had granddaughter time yesterday because we had to take the granddaughter with us to go to the doctor's appointment.
Chubby cheeks. She's so cute. I'm telling you though, keep that baby away from Susanna. She'll chomp on her. She'll chomp on her chubby little legs. She will. She'll bite her cheeks. Yeah, Kristen, she does that. She goes back and forth, and then it's to get people to keep going back to her channel to see if it's up yet. You know? Whatever. Wait, which video are you talking about? Because there are so many. You talking about the one that she did with about Donna and T? Options for you? Because she probably got a hell of a lot of flack for that. So that's why it might be gone. Or are you talking about Wes's videos?
I have no idea.
That still shocks me.
Stop it. You knew I smoked prior to this. And then
I know, but I'm so used to it. Sorry.
Most people already know that I started back up again due to stress.
I know.
And I'm still kind of stressing. And it'll be okay.
I know.
I've still got my patches. And when I'm ready, I'll go back on them and things will go back to normal.
Okay.
Oh, Donna and T's video. Did she go off on Donna and T?
Mm-hmm. Apparently.
What?
Apparently it was pretty wackadoodle too, because they told me I should go watch it later for good laughs. I'm like, oh boy. But now it's gone, so I can't. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure she got a lot of feedback on that.
I'm betting a lot of negative.
Mm-hmm. They have a pretty big following, so.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh-huh. Good luck to you.
Well, that's news to me. See, I told you. I've been sliding right along my own business.
Yeah. Well, I'm not subscribed to her, so I don't see when new videos are posted or when she's live. I hear about it later. Yeah. Or people will message me if she goes live and she's ranting about something crazy. Shocking. So, yeah, it is. But there are some people that
My playlist is broken.
It's like rubbernecking to, a car accident. People keep going back or keep showing up to see if she's going to do it again. So,
Yeah, rubbernecking. We was on our way to the doctor's office yesterday. There was something going on the side of the road. So obviously everybody pulls over, goes over to the hammer lane
right.
to, give plenty of room. People are slowing down because, there's cop cars. Well, I figure it's just, they're assisting. No, they're clearing out this vehicle. I'm not slowing down, but everybody in front of me is slowing down, so therefore I have to slow down. I'm
Right.
like, you rubbernecking motherfuckers.
I
I
didn't-
have a doctor's appointment to get to. I ain't got time for this.
I got to rubberneck out my window a few days ago because I'm sitting there and I look and all I saw was like the lights on top of a cruiser. Well, I saw an SUV and then I'm like, that's a new car in the neighborhood. And then I looked and I saw like blink, 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 blue lights, but like the reflection. And I'm like, the hell? So I lean and sure enough, there's a cop car behind him. They pulled two white guys out of the car and had him handcuffed and they were searching the vehicle. They ended up sending them to jail and towing the car, so the SUV. So I don't know what they did, but yeah, they were busted.
She's doing okay, Tina. She's getting close to time for another spinal injection. Her injection wore out earlier than normal. But other than that, she's doing pretty good.
She helped in Larry's auction yesterday because my mom ended up calling me and I had to take the call and so I was like, I'll be right back. And yeah, I was going. My mom for once wanted to talk, and I'm like, because it was also giving her the grocery list. So Willow jumped onto the StreamYard with Larry and helped him moderate. And then when I came back, I moderated in the chat, and she moderated on StreamYard because Larry wasn't catching it when he was making sales because he was so busy trying to gather stuff up when Amy lost power and disappeared that he only had so many things. Whenever Amy's turn was, he would go get more things. So he was kind of scrambling and he couldn't keep up. When he was making a sale, he wasn't seeing it. So Willow helped a lot by bringing it to his attention that Larry, that sold, So yeah, she helped out yesterday. That was nice. Wes. I don't know, Susanna.
I don't know, Susanna. I haven't talked to her today.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her today either. But she seemed okay yesterday, aside from a tinge of pain in her voice, which is typical of all of us these days.
Right.
But yeah. But yeah, she was on YouTube yesterday, helping out. Yep. Yeah, she's a good moderator. She is. See, I don't like going on StreamYard to moderate because then I'm lagging with the chat. Because, I mean, what you guys are typing, I'm seeing a few seconds after you type it. But if I'm moderating in the chat, you guys are seeing what I'm typing at the same time as I'm typing it, So I keep up with the people in the chat. And it just takes the people that are on StreamYard a little bit to catch up to it. So it's nice to have someone who's doing both, like to have two people moderating one, like Rhonda. Rhonda can do both at the same time. She's amazing. I wouldn't, I'd be like, no. So I don't moderate on StreamYard, but I will moderate chats. It was very nice of her to step in and help out because I didn't realize that my mom was going to call me at that point in time to get the grocery list. And with my mom, you have to explain everything in detail of what the packaging looks like for her to look for it. I mean, I told her Sargento cheese and I spelled it. And she still called me today and was like, they don't have Fargento cheese. They have Sargento. And I'm like, that's what I said, Mom. And she goes, oh. I love my mom. So yeah. She tries. She does good. And she got me extras. So, I got ice cream. I'm good. And pie. I got chocolate cream pie. She bought me. She is. Run is awesome. She is. But you know, Susanna, when you're talking about moderating, there are other moderators that kind of get their feelings hurt when you say one person is the best of the best.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm just fucking with you, Susanna. I did that in Victoria one day and she almost started to cry. I was like, no, I was kidding. It's okay. I felt so bad. I'm like, Run is awesome, though. She does, because she can moderate on StreamYard and in the chat at the same time, and that's pretty cool. Wes. Wes is an instigator. He really is. Well, Wes, you've got 10 more minutes, 9 minutes or so to whack-a-mole. Yeah, you've got a few more minutes to speak to the lurker we know is lurking, and then I'm going to be ending this because I've been on 3.5 hours. I'm tired. All that relief of the stress and stuff. Susanna, nice. I thought you loved me. Wes brought it pretty good for being a girl. Oh, I'd be careful, Wes. Kristen, that's, I don't know. No, just no. Wes is living dangerously, though.
He lives on the edge for sure.
He does. No, the relief of the stress of not having more threats of eviction is kind of like when you finally get pain relief, your whole body is just like, okay, we can rest now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm tired. Tired. And I have to go out and feed the dogs and make myself something to eat and, you know, all that fun stuff. Ignore the horns holding the halo. Yeah.
Can I help you?
Pigeon! Of course. He's not in trouble. He's causing trouble. Hey, Dana. Puss puss. Pretty kitty. Yeah, Wes. I wouldn't count on that if I were you. Not on her channel. Wes's middle name is Danger, right?
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Cajun Chris. Good to see you, honey.
He's melting. Cajun, have they given you an estimate on how long you'll be without power? Do they know when they're going to get it turned back on? Because that really sucks. I feel so bad for everybody. I mean, all the way up the coast, they got hit. Bye, Sandy. Have a good night.
One of the people that I follow, she's a cartoonist.
Mm-hmm.
She lives in Homa. And it's a hot mess down there. She still doesn't have any power either.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Oh, you got it back. Oh, awesome. Dawn still doesn't have it. That sucks. But I'm glad that you got your power back, Chris. I know you were so hot. I hope Dawn gets hers back soon. I know Glenn got his back pretty quickly. And now Teresa, I think Teresa got hers back. But Teresa, don't leave now, Kodi. I just sat down. Teresa from Teresa's Treasures. Sweet Teresa's
Tea's Treasures.
Yeah, she's in the hospital.
Oh.
So if everybody could keep good vibes going her way, apparently she got COVID and she's in the hospital. So good vibes her way, but I don't know. She was hit by the hurricane too. But she got her power back because Victoria was asking her if she needed any help. And they said no, that she was, their family, they had food and they had power and they were fine. So and Susie got flooded. her basement flooded, so she's still doing cleanup. So she's not only dealing with the puppy, but she's dealing with the lake in her basement.
Go. Go. What's stuff? Please.
I hope too much stuff didn't get ruined, Susie. Susie mentioned that she had a lot of artwork and stuff down there, so I hope that most of it was recoverable.
No crickets. So at least Friday.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, your garage got flooded too. That sucks. See, I had my bathroom, part of my craft room, and part of the kitchen get flooded when the toilet overflowed. But at least we were able to get the water turned off for that. It's not like you can turn off Mother Nature, you know?
yeah.
And the ground was already soaked from the storm that had blown into New York and New Jersey in that area before that, like a week ago, or a week before Ida hit. Henri, or Henry, or whatever they were calling it. Well, china and glasses, like unless there's, precious metal on the edges, aren't going to get damaged too badly. They just get that filmy crap all over them. It's a pain in the ass to wash, but yeah. Well, I know you said you saved your, was it your grandmother's immunization papers and her death certificate? Wes. Yeah. So there was just no place for the water to go. Except into the empty spaces that humans conveniently made in the ground. Yeah. We don't have well, a few people in South Carolina have basements, but not too many. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the jewelry tools. Some of those can be recoverable. You can get rust off of tools. WD-40 will get rust off of tools. Stinks, but it does work. There's a few different cleaners that can take rust off. And don't forget, Sandy did tell you that if there were tools to give her a list of tools that got ruined beyond repair, she might have spares so that she can replace them for you. I remember her saying that in Victoria's chat. Yeah, isn't it ironic, Susie? You put the rug downstairs because you don't want the puppy to get it wet and ruin it or poop on it or anything, and then it gets flooded. That sucks. So, yeah, it's sad, especially your photos, and papers. Anything that's memories is so hard to just have to throw away. I hear Miha pacing outside my door. But Wes, how do you really feel? Because bottling your emotions up like this is not healthy. I understand what you're saying, though. I do. Miha's all like, feed the dog. Ooh, your appliances got ruined? That sucks. That's some expensive replacing to do there. No, you didn't drown. Yeah, that's a good thing. I'm glad you didn't drown. I know that a lot of people in the area did drown, and that's very sad. Oof. Hey, Tim. Welcome home.
Yeah.
He's tuckered.
He looks tuckered.
So I got a jet.
All
And
right.
help my daughter put groceries away.
Okay.
So love y'all.
Love you, Tina. Love you, Tim.
Love y'all.
I can't do it with the glove on. Hold on.
Everybody.
Love you guys.
Love y'all. I will talk to you soon. Gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vistas, ladies and gents.
And thank you for coming on my live,
Yeah, no problem.
even though you got mad at me. Ah, I hate it when that happens. You'd think I'd be prepared at this point. Ugh. Scary. So, but yeah, I have been on here 3.5 hours, and I have to go feed the dog. Well, I have to feed both dogs and get myself something to eat and all that happy stuff. So I am gonna shut the live down. Sorry, Susanna, but you can just sit there. I mean, watch YouTube, watch a movie, something. And thank you everybody for coming in, spending time. And Wes, get it in now while you can. Time is money. That's right. Time is money. Hope everybody has a good afternoon, good evening, good rest of the week. I will be back on Saturday, hopefully on time. And I love you guys. Thank you for coming to my live and hanging out with me and chit chatting. And Susie, put a big umbrella under your house or something over your house. God, I would be dreading rain at this point. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.